Okay, we are now live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another stream of Hugo's Desk. Thank you so much for being here. I can see a lot of familiar faces on the chat. Thank you so much. Always so supportive of everything we do here at Hugo's Desk. I hope you can hear me well. I hope the sound is not too low. I'm just like tweaking it now. I think the sound is on a good level right now. So yeah, thank you so much for spending the afternoon here with me. We are doing another honest show reviews today. This is our fourth session with BenQ actually. So as always, I would like to thank BenQ for supporting this stream. Without BenQ, this stream would not exist. So thank you so much for them and for all the amazing support they give us. So we have three artists today to review. Now, I'm not entirely sure if it will be three because one of them is not answering me, so I'm not sure. The artist that was supposed to be the first one is not replying, so I think I'm gonna jump to the second one, and then the third, and we'll see if he shows up. If he shows up, we'll do him as well, but we'll hope it works. But yeah, thank you so much again. And as always, before we move on, I'm gonna just do some shout outs, especially so if someone here doesn't know me or if they are new to the channel so that they actually know what we are all about. I've also shared, I'm going to share on the chat the link to the giveaway. As usual, we have a giveaway. Remember, this is my Nuke course. We will have more giveaways in the future, you know, like the one we had last year with BenQ's monitor in the Foundry. I promise that's going to happen soon. But for now, we're just giving away my new course. In fact, from next month on, we're going to start doing, as I promised, 2 streams a month. We're going to be doing this stream, which is the stream supported by BenQ, which is the honest show reviews by BenQ Europe. And then we're also going to return to the Nuke for Dummies series, the Nuke for Beginners, this time sponsored by Foundry. And they will also be running. So we're going to be having 2 streams at the same time per month. Not at the same time. What am I talking about? I mean, twice a month, we'll have 2 streams. So a lot of people have asked me, where are the Nuke for Dummies series? Where are the Nuke composting? So yeah, I'm returning. Cool thing about this is that I'm actually going to return with some really cool shots. So I got permission from Rebellion Studios to use some of the shots from my last cinematic, the Sniper Elite 5, so I got some really cool brand new CG to use on the workshops with some really cool shots and some really good cool AOVs and passes, so we're gonna go and use that. So yeah, well, anyway, let's just get the show on the road. As always, bear with me, I'm gonna just show a couple of the shout outs. So as I already said, I've posted the link to the giveaway already on the chat. Don't forget, if you want to know more about my work, you can visit hugo-guerra.com. You can see some of my latest work. I'm still missing, I need to update this website because now I have 3 commercials for Adobe that I need to put in here, a commercial for Zara that I need to put in here, and also the art gallery with Murat in Germany as well. So I have 3 projects to update this website, but I haven't done it yet. Haven't had the time. But yeah, if you want to check out some of my work, you can find it all here. Of course, goes without saying, if you want to support my channel, go ahead and subscribe. I always very surprised to know that only half of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. Would be so cool if you could. I forgot to. Sorry about that. I forgot to press record button there. Apologies for that. We have a backup plan, of course, a backup recording on YouTube, but I forgot to click the recording button. How silly is that? Anyway, as I was saying, always very surprised that only half of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. I would love to reach 100,000 subscribers. The reason for that mainly is so that I can have a certified tick box on Hugo's Desk, and also so that I can have more support on YouTube as well. So if you're not subscribed, consider that. It's free, you know, it's completely free. It really helps my channel, and it helps me to actually get sponsors as well. It's always different when you contact sponsors. They don't really answer if you don't have a big channel. So it's always good to get sponsors, to get support to do the streams. The more I get support, the more streams I can do and the more videos I can do, because as you all know, this is not my main job. So yeah, so consider that. Also consider that I have a second channel. I know this channel is not very active, but it's not a monetized channel. It's just a free channel. I'm not even earning any money on this channel. So this is just a channel where I post all the VODs from Twitch. You remember that I used to stream a lot on Twitch. I've now posted 58 of those streams. I have 85 in total, so I still have a lot of streams to post here. But yeah, this is not a monetized channel, just a record of all the streams. The last one I've posted was the best books for visual effects artists. If you want to know some of my shenanigans, you can always follow my Twitter at Hugo Sigera. Of course, I have a podcast with Ian Files. Just yesterday, I've published the All Quiet on the Western Front Visual Effects Notes podcast, episode 41. Can't believe we've done 41 episodes now. So yeah, feel free to support and to check the podcast out. I'm gonna just give you a link. VFX Notes podcast the playlist is here. We're pretty much doing all the Oscar nominees. We've now done Top Gun, we've now done Avatar, we've now done All Quiet on the Western Front. If you go all the way down here, there's the Batman here as well. The only one missing is Wakanda Forever, which we are doing. We've recorded it and we're going to publish it sometime next week. So then we'll have all the Oscar nominees for this year as well. So consider supporting the podcast as well and watch the podcast. The video version is always really cool because it has a lot of behind the scenes whenever I can find them, of course, and it has a lot of stuff there. Okay, cool. So also, feel free to support my LinkedIn as well. I've just crossed 20,000 followers there. I didn't even know that LinkedIn had such a thing as followers, but apparently it does now. So I have 20,000 now there, and if you want to chat with me, just you can connect there on LinkedIn. I always accept every invitation. So every person that has connected to me, I've accepted. So if you want to connect there, if you want to chat, if you want to talk, go ahead, go for it. Also have a Hugo's Desk online school LinkedIn page where we have just about 4,000 followers now and about 300 alumni here resisted from my Nuke course. I have a Patreon if you want to support the channel. Please keep in mind that we are about to release something really special on the Patreon. Me and Ian from Before and Afters are going to start having specific episodes of the VFX Notes podcast only for Patreons. So we're going to have something called the VFX Notes Plus, which will be extra, it's called VFX Notes Extra, and that will be extra episodes once a month for just Patreons, no one else. And of course, I have a Hugo's Desk on Facebook and Instagram. I'm there as well, Hugo Sigera. I have also Hugo's Desk on Instagram as well. Of course, go ahead and support BenQ as well. They are the amazing supporters and sponsors of this stream. You can visit their website on BenQ Europe and check what they have there. You already know that I pretty much have all BenQ monitors over here as part of being an ambassador for BenQ. So I use them all the time on every project I have. I have 3 of them here right now. So yeah, go there. They also have a wonderful Facebook page called IQ Caller by BenQ, a wonderful Instagram page called IQ Caller by BenQ as well. And they just recently partnered up with Pantone. So if you do buy a BenQ monitor, you actually get Pantone Connect Premium for 1 year for free, just because you have the monitor. If you buy a PD monitor on SW monitor, you get the Pantone Connect Premium for free. And that's really it, for now. I think we're gonna move on to the showreel review. So if you have any questions, just keep going. I can see Josh here is saying, I've been listening to the podcast on Apple Podcasts this week on the way to college. Super insightful and fun. Thank you so much for saying that, Josh. Just so you know, we are basically on YouTube with a lot of breakdowns as well. So if you want to watch breakdowns and footage of what we are discussing and talking about, go for it as well. I just realized that I had my screen off here, so apologies for that. Apologies to BenQ, because when I was promoting them, I forgot to have it on. So I was just like, when I returned from my main camera, I forgot to do that. So yeah, so I was just mentioning the Patreon, the Facebook, and then of course Instagram on Hugo C. Gary and Hugo's Desk, and of course the homepage of BenQ, the A Key Caller from Facebook, the A Key Caller by BenQ and Instagram. It's really cool, this page, actually, because they have a lot of workshops and webinars, and they always promote them here. So go ahead and check them out. They always have a lot of really amazing Photoshop and design-based stuff, you know. And like I was saying, the Pantone Connect, if you have a PD or an SW BenQ, you get 1 year for free from Pantone Connect Premium. So apologies that I didn't have the screen on for that. I apologize for that. Now we're back to business. So yeah, so if you have any questions, just go for it. Friend Yoshi is asking for that I have a new panel there. Yeah, good spot. Like it's not it. I put there in purpose because I remembered to mention something about it and then I forgot on the intro. Yeah, so Blackmagic kindly loaned this to me. It's not mine. It's not going to be mine. They just loaned it to me for a few months. It's not going to stay with me. So I'm doing a review on it as a loan. Can't wait to tell you what I think about it. It's pretty big. And in fact, it's really heavy as well. You can do some quite big workouts with it. So yeah, so this is the Blackmagic Great Panel, which I'm going to do a review very soon. I'm actually doing the review now, so expect that to drop on Hugo's desk at some point. Jesus Christ, this is heavy. I'm also doing a review of this, which is the Blackmagic Cloud Store Mini, which is a really great method to synchronize Dropbox. Since Dropbox recently dropped the support to external drives on macOS, so I kind of have to use this now. So I want to talk about this as well. This was a loan from them as well, but I'm actually thinking of buying it because it's becoming part of my pipeline. So I'm considering to buying it. And then also I have this to review as well, which I haven't done as well. I haven't even opened it yet. I need to Shen Labs was very kind to send me this. Haven't opened it yet. I need to review it and check it and go for it, and I need to do that soon because it's been a long time since they sent it to me. So yeah, expect those things to drop on my channel at some point. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up about now because this is not about me; it's about you guys. So I'm gonna bring in the first contestant. So unfortunately, the first person that I had lined up, which is Alex, he didn't show up, so I'm not entirely sure. I hope everything is okay, Alex. I hope nothing serious happened, because you did confirm yesterday and now you didn't reply at all. So I really hope nothing serious has happened. All of the best if something has happened. I'm so sorry if it did. You're always welcome to join anyway, and I can do your review after. So I'm going to actually skip Alex and going to go directly to Madjid. I think it's how I pronounce his name, Madjid. I hope so. He's actually on the chat. I've seen him already. So I'm going to give him the Zoom link and let's just start this show right away. Let's just see here. Well, GLM, I already had a giveaway for the pen. I already had one. I actually gave it away. I think it was like a couple of months ago, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to give him the link, and I'm going to open up Zoom here. Now, I've done some changes, so bear in mind that we might have a bit of garbage truck on fire for a second here. So I made some changes. You know how it happens on Hugo's desk. Whenever we do changes, there's always a bit of a problem. But I'm going to see if this works. I'm going to just start the Zoom link here and see if he is here.
Recording
live.
In progress.
No, don't
Recording
need to record.
Stopped.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to see if he's here. And if I can see him. Yeah, he is here. Okay, so I'm gonna okay, cool. Excellent. That was quick, man. So yeah, feel free to join the call. I'm on the call now. so feel free to join the call. Just waiting for you to come in. Yeah, garbage truck on fire. Yeah, we're waiting a little bit here for him to show up. Let's see here. Can you join now? Can you join now? I'm just like waiting for him to show up. So as you know, this is the type of stream we run here. It's a garbage truck on fire. Okay, so I'm on Zoom right now. So hopefully you show up. Oh, here you go.
Hello.
Hello there. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you, Matt?
I'm very good. So I apologize. I can't remember. Only if you want to. I didn't remember if you wanted the webcam or not, or if it's just going to be sound.
Oh, it's a bit messed up, so yeah, let's move on. I think I'm gonna pass on the webcam.
That's not a problem at all. That's not a problem at all. Well, thank you so much for joining anyway.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Did I mispronounce your name? So I said Madjid. Is that how I say it?
Yeah, you can spell it like that. It's okay. Madjid actually, but yeah, okay. You can spell it like that. It's okay.
Okay, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced it. I'm terrible at names. No, I'm Portuguese.
No, you haven't. It's okay. It's okay at all. It's Arabic, so probably it's quite, not usual. So yeah, it's okay.
I'm gonna reduce the. Okay, I'm gonna just reduce the sound a little bit because I think it's very loud. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna while we talk, since we don't have a webcam, I'm gonna just put your showreel going in the background so that people can see it. Okay, so I'm gonna just do that real quick here. So if people just give me a second because I'm still I'm gonna remove the sound because otherwise I'm gonna be tabbed on the sound on YouTube. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that in here. Okay, cool. So people are watching your showreel as we speak. It's looping in the background. So as always, only if you want to, of course. No pressure. If you would like, do you want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about yourself and where you're calling from and things like that?
Yeah, sure. It would be my pleasure.
Yeah, go for it.
So my name is Madjid Bouharis. I'm a visual effects artist from Algeria. And I'm a self-taught one, so most of my work and most of the stuff on this showreel is actually personal projects. And yeah, I do visual effects basically for a couple of local studios as a freelance, but I'm looking to improve my work and my skill sets. So thank you so much for being here, and if you have any critiques, it could be really good. And thank you so much for having me, Hugo.
No, not a problem. It's my pleasure. As you know, this is always an open forum, and we do this every month. And I wish I could do more, of course, because I get inundated by showreels every month. But I try my best to do as many as I can. But yeah, no, your showreel is great. I think you have some really strong work here and some really cool stuff. We're going to talk about it in detail in a second, shot by shot. But what's your objective now? As you said, you're already working, you're in Algeria. So are you working only for companies in Algeria, or are you also working remote for outside the country?
Oh, I'm open to many projects, but I do, consider any studio that comes to me with a project or anything. But as if in my country there's not too many studios, and really it's really a rare industry, so I usually turn myself into international studios.
Cool. And so your showreel is mostly lighting and compositing. Is that what you want to do? What's your dream job? Tell us.
To be honestly a long term, I would really love to be a VFX supervisor, but
on set or inside the studio.
I think I'm better inside the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the on-set jobs are quite tough actually.
Yeah,
From what I've seen,
they're really stressful.
yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. But going the lighting or the compositing route is actually two main fields that really enjoy doing. But as I said before, I'm a self-taught artist, so I'm a CG artist and a journalist overall. So I may basically do a lot of things, but I like to sell myself as a lighting and compositing artist because I think it's simpler to understand.
Of course, of course. Well, I mean, as I said, your work has been going in the background, and I think people probably will agree. Like, it looks great. So, what I'm gonna do now is
Thank you.
no problem. Of course, it's your work. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to just like share my screen so that you can see exactly which shot I'm running. Okay. So if you just sorry about apologies for the feedback there. So I'm gonna just share
No
my
worries.
screen, and you probably can see my screen now.
I do. I
Yeah,
do.
cool, excellent. So I managed to fix this, by the way, because last time we had a lot of issues with this. But yeah, cool. So okay, let's just sorry, just doing a little bit of housekeeping. Okay, so yeah. Why don't we now let's jump into shot by shot. So I
Okay.
can kind of see on the intro here that you just do everything. Damn, you do a lot. Like you actually do Maya and Substance and Houdini, Nuke, Blender and Reel. Like, are you completely proficient on all of them, or are you just like learning some of them? What's your strongest thing?
No. No, I'm not. I'm not like very proficient at all of them, but all the software that I mentioned, I actually used them on an actual project that I did for a client. And that's how like I measure if I'm good, like if I can work on a software or not. Most of the shots here are actually personal projects, so I try to keep it into Blender and Nuke.
Okay.
Doing the CG, like when the project requires a CG, doing it in Blender and then exporting it like into AUVs and everything into Nuke and doing all the compositing there. But as you know, like working on CG usually requires many software, especially like for the texturing. I usually go for Substance and I send it back to Blender. I recently, like maybe a year or a year and a half ago, I got into Unreal because it was quite game changing. So I got into it and I started working on it and doing more and more projects on it.
Yeah, of course.
So basically, and the softwares I put here are actually the softwares that I used in the showreel.
Ah, cool. Cool.
I also worked on After Effects because that's basically the first software I actually started working with.
Yeah,
But
it's like me. Yeah.
as I understood, like After Effects is not really, it's not efficient on a film production, which really what I like to be in. Which quite I understand why, because once I turned into Nuke, I understood right away why After Effects is far back compared to Nuke and all the gizmos and all the tools that Nuke allow for artists and for compositors.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I completely agree. I also started in After Effects, and I did After Effects for 5 years before, and once you move into Nuke, it's like a new world opens up. But After Effects is still very used in the industry. People
Absolutely.
don't realize that, but it's always there. It's always on every studio. Everyone is using, even if they're just doing a pass or a layer for something else. It's very much part of the industry pipeline. It's just that it's not where people finish shots, but that's in as a
Yes.
standard. But it's very powerful, and I've used it many times mixed with Nuke, But cool, man. I'm really glad that you're learning Unreal. Unreal definitely has such a bright future
Definitely.
for the pipeline.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
also like I'm happy to see another Blender artist growing up the ranks. That's cool as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So let's talk about the first shot, if you don't mind. So, as you said, this is all personal work, right? So, do you also have
Yes.
a showreel with professional work, or you're not allowed to show it? What's going on there?
I do not actually.
Okay.
Like I have like the shots I worked for clients usually are, they got confirmed and they got finished, but they weren't. Most of them actually were not. Either they were not published or they are not good enough
Yeah, yeah, of
for me
course.
to put it on the reel. So I
Yeah.
try, I on my previous showreel, I was gonna put like some shots on for studios I worked on, and then put like the logos of the studios and everything. But with time I realized that those actually are local studios that, let's say it, nobody knows actually. So I thought it wouldn't add much to the reel. Actually, that's what I thought. So
Yeah,
I
of
don't know
course, no, of
what you
course.
think about
No, no,
that.
no. I completely agree. I have the same issue as well. I've done a many. Actually, in the last 2 years, it's been worse. I think half of the projects that I've done in the last 3 years have not come out. And I don't even know if they will come out. Like, there's a lot of that going on where a commercial is done or a project is done or a sequence is done, and then someone decides not to publish it because it's not gonna work anymore for whatever marketing thing they're doing. So that happens a lot,
Exactly.
unfortunately. So, but that's okay. Like,
Exactly.
I think you have some really strong shots. So I just feel like I think your showreel is really strong. I only feel that if you want to get a job, for example, in the film industry, if you want to get a job quickly, these shots are really strong, but I feel like only having 3 shots is not enough. I would definitely try to squeeze in maybe one more shot or at least two. And the reason for that, there's a lot of interference coming from your mic. Are you moving your microphone around or?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry. Uh,
Sorry.
Gonna be fixed.
Cool. So what I was saying is like I feel like you have some strong shots, but if you want to get a job on a film company, if you want the film company, of course, only if you want that, you
Oh, I
will,
do.
yeah, you will need to try to come up with some shots that have some footage in them, so that you have some integration going on. That's definitely missing in your showreel, I feel, because the shots that you have, they are like, you have this one that has an original plate, but it's not enough because this is potentially a bit too simple. And when I'm talking about integration, I'm talking about maybe perhaps just have a shot where you have an actual object that is there integrated, or something in the background, something that is more connected to a film shot, or perhaps maybe even do another of these shots like this one. But let's not go ahead yet. Let's start with the first one. So tell us a little bit about this first shot, the car animation shot. It says here Blender and
Yeah.
Nuke. Like,
Yes.
I'm a big Formula One fan. Can't wait for it to start. Can't wait for it
So
to
am
start
I.
in a few days. Actually, it's going to be in the beginning of
Yeah, I
March.
think it's a week or two. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that you have you've put, I'm assuming, Lewis Hamilton there running or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about this shot. This shot is entirely made by you, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
It looks
It was
really
definitely
good.
by me.
I
Thank you.
I think you've done a fantastic job with the light, like especially the lighting. The lighting looks terrific. The sunset and the glowing that you have hitting the street, hitting the tarmac, the really cool bloom and flaring effect that you've made in compositing, the actual overexposure that you have on the car itself. It's great. I think I'm always a bit worried that people are too scared to overexpose stuff, and I feel like things are overexposed on films and on TV all the time, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that you've actually didn't shy away from that, because a lot of times I see shots from younger artists or from juniors, and they tend to have this kind of HDR weird look because they don't really go for it in terms of lighting. So you definitely went really good with here. There's only, like, I would say, two things that kind of like struck me when I watched this for the first time, because remember, everyone, I'm watching this live with everyone. I didn't really, I mean, I checked your showreel a couple of weeks ago when you've submitted, but I didn't really thought much
Yes.
about it, so I'm now watching it in detail live with all of you. First thing that kind of comes across was there's something weird going on with these things on the street. What are these exactly? Or are they grass, or what's going on here? Just let me know.
There were actually, it's as weird as it might sound. This is actually a rendering thin where I noticed the thin after the render. It was supposed to be grass. Actually, maybe this track actually is a part from Fuji track
Yeah,
in Japan,
yeah.
and there was supposed to be grass there. So I wasn't sure like if I should like put it like all grass, and so actually I put it all grass, but I didn't render it. I tried to make it up in post, like by rendering the grass separately and masking it out with the AOVs that I had, but I think it didn't work quite
Yeah, no,
well.
I think there's two things here. It's very distracting, so I would recommend taking it out because I think it is really not helping
Yeah.
your shot at all. But there's another way of dealing with this. You could, inside of Nuke, with some texturing and some projection and maybe even some cards, you could put some grass there and then use the ray tracer or the scanline render inside of Nuke and actually motion blur it and integrate it. It could work, maybe give it a go. You could actually build up a piece of grass using photos of grass and try to patch this up. A lot of people don't realize that most of CG and film has a bunch of real stuff merged into the plates. We
Absolutely.
recently on the Sniper Elite 5 trailer that I directed, a lot of the first opening shots, which has like the craters and the grass and the mud, that's all photos merged with CG, merged with texturing, merged
Yeah.
with whatever we throw at it. And in fact, in the end, we even have the eye of the soldier inside the character. It's actually a real photo of an eye. People merge stuff all the time, so
Oh.
you could give it a go. You know. And then the second thing that came to mind when I saw the shot was your fire, your sparks. Yeah, I think your sparks have some
Yeah.
problems. First of all, sparks on Formula One cars, if you notice, well, first of all, they're really tiny and sharp. They are not blurred.
Yes.
And this looks like the car is going to go on fire, which is not good. And the
Yes.
other thing as well that I don't know if you notice is that you only see sparks on the racetracks when it's a race at night. It's very rare that you see sparks during the day because they are overexposed by the sun. Like the sun is so strong that you hardly see the sparks at all. And if you notice, you will always see it when you're, for example, watching a night race.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
so keep that in mind. That I think your sparks, the best solution would be to use some stock footage. Maybe go into Action VFX and check them out. They have a lot of sparks there, especially this frame here. You see my screen, right? You can still see my screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I do, I do, I do.
So you don't see my mouse, do you? You see my mouse?
Yes, I see.
Okay, cool. So, oh, cool. This worked really. Like, I'm so happy that this actually worked because on the last show reels, I couldn't do this. I couldn't share my screen to the other artists, so they were watching it live on YouTube, which has a 20-second delay. So I'm so glad that this actually worked. So you see so this setup works. So these sparks, you see, not only they are too thick, but they are too blurred. So consider replacing them with really thin sparks. I don't even know if I can find see if I can find some kind of reference real quick, but let's just see.
Just for
Formula One
yes.
sparks. Yeah. What is it? Go. For it.
Just for the note, like the whole shot, like the camera movement was basically inspired from a movie, which is, I think the name of the movie was Ford versus Ferrari,
Oh yeah,
which
that's a really
treats
great.
of the
Yeah.
the whole shot was made by DNEG, I think.
Yeah.
And we had like a shot where the camera is like up on the sky, and then she goes like it's very similar to the one I have made, so it was inspired from that. And for the sparks, actually, I wanted to simulate them in Houdini, basically, but
Yeah.
I'm really not good at that.
Yeah. But you
It
see.
wasn't good. Yeah.
You see, I know exactly what you mean about that shot. That film is one of my favorite films. I've watched that film like 10 times, and I
It's beautiful.
yeah. But you see, for example, look at this photo here. You see, well, this is actually a great example of, because this is a photo on the broadcast. You don't usually see the sparks in the daytime, but with a photo you'll pick it up because the photo, the cameras, the journalist cameras have so much more range. But you see how thin they are. They're super thin. They have a core, but they are really, really thin and stripy. They're like these kind of like really lines almost of yellow. And you can kind of see that on most of these photos, that you see that they become very blurred lines. It's much easier, instead of using Houdini, for you to get like a piece of stock and simulate this, use it in a stock by using a card in 3D. So if you have either the geometry of this car as an alembic animated inside of Nuke, either you import it that way, and then you can position the card exactly where the car is. If you don't want to bring in the geometry, you can use a position pass to know where the point clouds are. But it's probably easier to just bring an animated alembic into Nuke, and then you know where the car is. And in fact, you can even attach the card to the vertices of the CG of the object, and then you basically have a placeholder attached to the car, always facing camera, and then you can put whatever stock you want and just scale it in 2D to position it in. I think that would probably be the best solution to do something like this, you know.
Definitely, I'm taking notes right now. Thank you.
Well, don't worry. Like, you can watch this stream again and again. I'm gonna make like as I always do it. I always put chapters so you can find all the reviews from everyone. So yeah. So I'm gonna go back to. I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna I'm gonna close a few windows because my machine is a bit laggy. I have too many windows open. This is always the problem. Apologies for that. So I'm going to go back to your showreel. Yeah, so I think, to be honest, those are the two main things that I would say that are not wrong, but it's just like really minor things. It's the grass and the sparks. I think the rest of the shot looks fantastic. I really don't have anything to say. If anything, I mean, it's a bit clean. That would be one thing I would say, you know, because if the camera is behind the car like this, I think some dirt on the lens would happen, and potentially maybe even, like, I just feel that the whole thing is maybe a little bit too clean. I think you might want to intensify, like, I know you have a lot of dirt and scratches on the track here, but notice when we're really close, it becomes really, really clean. The tires are super clean. The side of the wheels are super clean and reflective. I just feel that you need some damage. You know, for example, look at this little detail. Look at how it's reflecting the below the car. You have the street, the tarmac being reflected on the bottom. There is no way that bottom would be so clean because it would be scratched and a bit used and a bit broken. And in fact, if you watch photos of reverse Formula 1 cars when they crash, they're all scratched in the bottom. They're all destroyed in the bottom because that's why they have the sparks, because they hit the floor all the time. So just like destroy a bit the car more, you know, just get it more. And also maybe the tires, I would definitely try to put on the textures of the tires, go into substance and paint in some flat areas, you know, so that you have this notion, like, because obviously, and I don't remember in Suzuka if it's the right or the left tire that gets more worn out, but you can probably find that really easily, that information. And if, for example, if you find out that the left tire is more worn out on Suzuka, then maybe destroy a bit the left tire or the right tire. Those kind of little details, they seem really tiny, but all of them add up to make a more realistic shot, you know. So I think it would be you'd be useful to just make it less clean, you know.
Definitely. I haven't thought of that, actually, especially the dirt part. I haven't really thought of that at all.
Yeah, the dirt and the tires, right? Like, you know, when you're watching the Formula 1 transmission, like, all the tires are always used. They never really, very rarely they have new tires. And so, because they're already used on the qualifyings, so the tires usually have a lot of spots. Even when they're running fast, you see spotting and you see shadows and you see areas that are blacker and areas that are whiter, like on the tires themselves. Anything you can do to introduce some randomization to things is always the best thing. Someone on the chat, Cyril, is asking, where can I see this reel? Is your show reel public and on YouTube?
Yeah,
or,
it is public.
Yeah.
If you just type in my name in Google, I think it's the first one that comes, you know, on Vimeo.
Well, feel free to post it on the chat if you want to. Someone was asking about it.
No,
cool. So let's see here. Yeah, so I don't think I have much more to say about this shot. I think also you did a fantastic breakdown. I like the way that you don't linger too much on the breakdown, because sometimes I notice that people show me too much. They show me too many UVs and too many this and that. I feel like you did a great job there. And yeah, I think that's it really. I don't have much to say about. So it's the dirt, the flats on the tires, and the sparks and the grass. Those are the things that I would suggest you to do and to fix.
Okay.
Apart from
Work on that.
that, I think you did a great job with the motion blur and the depth of field. I noticed just now that the front wheel is really going nuts. Is that normal? What's going on
No,
there?
it isn't. No, it isn't.
Okay, I just
It's
noticed that.
one of the things that I realized after, like, when I checked the whole thing rendered, because when you work in process, I don't have like a machine that I can like render and preview. So I was just rendering frames and I was checking in, and it wasn't like you can't see this type of issues by just rendering a couple of frames.
Yeah.
And I realized that actually I didn't realize that at all. I realized that after I finished the composite, and I realized that, and I was like, oh my god. And as if it was a personal project, so I thought it's okay. No, nobody's gonna notice.
Well,
You did.
well, you need to be careful because, like, I
Yeah.
mean, no one is going to judge your animation, of course. But, if you can make it fix, that would be better because it's quite distracting. Now I can't not see it. The other thing as well that I would say is that I think you have too much reflection going on the brake light. The brake lights do have a layer of glass and reflection on top, but I think you're picking up too many reflections from the background or from your HDR. Might want to tone that down using a cryptomat and actually reducing just the reflection pass on that thing, because it's just really distracting to see so much reflections in that brake light,
Okay.
So, cool. Excellent.
Okay. Thank you.
So let's move on to the next shot. So this is a live plate that you downloaded from the
Yes.
internet. Tell us a little
Yes.
bit about this. Like this is again Blender and Nuke.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, of course. So this actual plate was found on the internet. I think I have the link somewhere, and this is actually the first one. I thought like I noticed a lot of things that it was basically a practice for cleanup, because like I did learn a couple of techniques for cleanup and doing things. And the first thing I did was basically doing the cleanup of the scene. As you can see, like the panels on the spherical panels on the left, and there was like cars on the right, and there was like a pickup going through, and I had to remove that using a project 3D node. So I basically painted over in Photoshop, and I used this to actually project the whole thing. And I think it worked. Actually, the cleanup was quite, I think, was reasonable. And then like I added the cars and the piano, which was basically CG, which I rendered in Blender. And actually I reconstructed the scene in Blender, recreating the geometry to create a depth pass, a kind of accurate depth pass. And I combined that with the depth pass used like the depth generator in Nuke. So like I combined and I did a roto for like the parts that I thought was good in the actual depth, and the part was good in the depth generator, to actually create this fog, and to create like the lack of contrast, like because the as you have said actually many times, like the stuff that are far are less contrasty.
Yeah.
And compared to the stuff right in front. And yeah, I did the compositing of the cars. I did the piano. The shadows was basically just I just rendered one image of the whole shadows, and I did project that.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a cheat, I think, because usually you would like render the shadows for the whole scene, but I thought it could work, and I think it worked. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So first things first, I would say that I feel this shot is okay, it's good, but there's a couple of problems. So first of all, let's take them one by one. So like the first things that I noticed right away. your Porsche that you've integrated into it, it looks to me like that either you have too much motion blur on it or too much blur on it. It looks too blurred for the position where it is. Because if you look at the original car that was there, if you look at the original car, you see how sharp that car is?
Yes,
That car is
definitely.
super sharp, and actually is quite in focus, actually, and doesn't motion blur much. Well, I can't see the full plate because you didn't posted the full plate, so I don't know
Oh,
when it's closer to camera if that Jeep that you removed was also blurred on the corner, but I would recommend you to go back and look at the original plate and match the blurriness and the blur and the motion blur level of your Porsche to that Jeep that was there, because whatever the Jeep has in terms of sharpness and motion blur, that's exactly what your Porsche should have. And in my view, when I look at this, it looks to me like your Porsche has too much blur and too much depth of field. I might be wrong because I haven't seen the original plate, but it looks like that to me when I just look at it right away. So that's problem number one that I noticed. The problem number two, I wanted to check one thing with you.
yes.
Is this piano too big? Like, have you kind of did a scale for this? Like, how did
Yes,
you figure
yes.
out the size of this? Is this piano actually the correct size? Because I look at a Porsche and I look at the piano. This piano looks bigger than the Porsche. Is that okay? Is that normal?
I actually used the pickup that was actually right in the area. Like I reckoned which model it was, and I scaled that to the piano actually.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I thought it was small at first, but I had to do like the math, but I think the scale is okay. I think,
Okay.
even though it seems smaller than it actually is, but
No,
I
no.
don't know.
I mean, it looks to me, it looks too big. That's my problem. It looks way
Oh,
too big for the street. It might be because the Porsche is a tiny car. It might be
yes,
that, but
maybe.
I think this is one of those situations where this happens a lot in film, in projects. Even in my career, it happened a lot. We do something by the book with the exact measurements, and it just looks wrong for some reason. I
Mm,
feel like if you were delivering this to a film, probably the
yes.
director would ask you to make the piano a bit smaller. And then you probably would say, oh, but the piano is in scale. Then he would ask you to do it anyway. This happens all the time. They always blend, like, because it just looks weird this big. Because normally, when you look at, because you don't have any reference of how big this street is, there's no person here. So it's really hard to know the reference. I can't really tell if this is a big street or a small street. It's hard to tell. Again, if this was a real project in a production company, I mean, someone would have measured the road and had measurements, so you would have had a perfect scaling. But it just
Yeah.
looks to me that it's somewhat the wrong scale. Then the third thing that I notice, we'll talk about the fog in a minute. There's really a lot of artifacts going on here on this building. What is that all about? Like, there's all sorts of black stuff going on, flickering, coming in and out over there on this
Uh,
building. Do you know what that is?
I think it's due to the depth generator that actually did that. And I didn't know how to fix that actually. I wanted to make it flat, but I don't know, it just looked round for some reason.
The problem is that it's flickering, and if it was always there, that would have been fine. But if it's flickering, it's really distracting. It looks like a render glitch. You really need to look into this because you should not
Okay.
have render glitches on the showreel. This is going
Yeah.
to this is going to hurt your chances. I'll be blunt. I'm sorry. I
Of
hope you don't
course, of
mind.
course.
This will really hurt your chances of getting a job because what this shows me as a supervisor, if I was like looking at this showreel and hiring you, I used to do this all the time. Like when I was working in companies, I used to hire people from their showreels. I would look at this and I would say, this person doesn't have a lot of attention to detail because they left this in. And so I wouldn't hire you because I was like, no, I don't want someone that can't even notice that this is a problem. And because when you submit something, it has to be the best possible you can make it, without any
Yes.
problems or glitches or issues. And if there's a glitch or an issue, then just take it out, to take out that thing. Because I would much prefer, if this is a glitch coming from the fog, then
Yes.
deliver without the fog, because it's better to deliver something that doesn't have a glitch than delivering something with a glitch. So because sometimes
Okay.
things don't work out, so maybe the fog didn't work out, or maybe you need to tone it down, or maybe you need to redo it, or maybe you need to like rethink it. but definitely a glitch is a big deal to have on the showreel, and it could really deter people from hiring you or even continue watching the showreel. They might just stop here and go to the next one, you know. So I feel like you need to look into this, and it's not only happening on this building on the left side, it's also happening on the right side. You have some kind of flickering going on here as well on.
It's definitely due to the fog.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Then you need to reconsider your fog. And also, to be honest, your fog is not working. Your fog is looking very strange. How did you do this fog, by the way? Is this fog volumetric in Blender, or is it like something else that you've come up with?
Actually, it's a depth. Like I created the depth pass, and I used a couple of cards as from stock shots of smoke and fog, and placed them like on places like around the area, and I used the depth pass to actually composite that into the shot.
Yeah. So your depth pass is the one that is flickering, right?
Definitely, yes.
You might want to consider, if you want to have a depth pass for this, this is a really simple shot. I know it's more work, but you know, and of course, take this with a grain of salt. You can take my notes or not. You don't need to do it. But what I mean is, like, if I was doing this, if I was on your place, I would I would pick up this 3D track and actually build, because this is really simple geometry. I would build a replica of this road in 3D in Blender, you know, with just simple boxes and not very detailed, just a little bit of detail on each of the buildings, so that you at least have some, you know, some simple proxy geometry for every building. And then I would render a depth pass from Blender from that proxy, because then it won't flicker. You'll never have a problem with flickering. So you could try that. Another thing I could suggest to you, if you want to give it a go, I don't know if you are running Nuke 14, but Nuke 14, but if you want to consider it, let's see, cat copy. I think it's Cattery.
Yeah, is it copycat?
Yeah, so they have, I've noticed, where is it? Yeah, there you go. So they have now, someone has made a depth estimation tool on Copycat. So this is free. It's on the Foundry's website. You just need to install Nuke 14. I'll put it on the link. So I've tried this, the Midas. It's basically a depth estimator from one single view. It does surprisingly good results. Maybe try it. You know, it requires Nuke 14. It can be done on CPU, but it's a lot faster on GPU. So if you have an NVIDIA card, it will be faster. I don't have an NVIDIA card because I run a Mac Pro, so I did it on AMD cards, and it was pretty slow, but it still gave me some good results. So maybe consider that. So those would be the two options. That's right. You're not seeing my screen. That's right, because I'm just sharing the yeah. But I posted on the chat the link, and I'll give you the link on your chat. Sorry, just give me a second. Yeah, so that's the link. I'm posting it on the chat of Zoom for you. So what I would say is that yeah, obviously the best result would be to construct the proxy geometry and have a proper depth. But this is all a matter of time. So if you were working on a film company, you would have more time, and then you would go ahead and you would build the entire street like they usually do, coming from a photogrammetry setup, you know, and then they would get the depth pass. Now, using just the depth extractor tool, the regular one from Nuke, I always get bad results. It never fucking works. I gave up on it. So try the Cattery one, the one from Copycat, from the machine learning node, or try to do some geometry, which is also a simple piece of geometry. I'm sure you can figure out the lens and figure out this easily on your track.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
I already created like a basic one actually to reproduce like the reflections on the car and everything. I have a very basic geometry for that, so I think I might use that for the actual depth of the scene. Yeah.
So yeah, I think those are the things. It's my main issue is the fog quality, the motion blur of that, and depth of field of that Porsche, and then the fog itself. the fog, not only it's flickering, but it's also a weird type of fog. There's so much noise and atmosphere going on it. Where is this noise and atmosphere coming from? I don't have any cue for wind anywhere. And so it looks to me like there's so much noise and so much displacement going on. I think your fog should be more static, less moving, and more thin, so that you don't have, so it looks more like a fog. If you look at photos of, I just realized now that I was showing you the sparks from Formula One, but you never saw them. That's right, because I'm not
actually look at your screen so I can see what's happening.
Okay, cool. Because the stream,
I've seen the sparks.
Yeah, the YouTube stream is a bit delayed. But what I will do now is like, let me just see.
Because actually I'm following you from the Zoom meet and not from the stream, so I have everything.
Okay, cool. Just give me a second, because I'm going to show you something. This is a bad example, but maybe it's going to be good enough to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share. I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to start sharing the actual full screen so that you can see the whole thing. So now you can see the whole thing. So my entire screen. So you see how a fog on a build, like, fogs are not wispy and not detailed because the scale is too big. So whenever you see fog on a room, on a street, it's I know this is a lot of fog, but it doesn't have texture, it doesn't have movement in it. It's a static piece of volume, So it would look much better if you would have used this type of fogging. And this type of fogging, to be honest, could be done easily by using a depth pass, and then you could cut it with some cards like you did, but just be aware that you went too far. When you look at, let me see if I can find, here you go. So if you look at this, I know this is a dark photo, but notice how the front of the buildings almost have no fog, and the fog is only on the back buildings. So this is the thing that is missing on your shot. When you look at your shot, your fog is throughout the whole thing. Everything is fogged. And in fact, you actually have a sun coming in, which is weird because you wouldn't have sun and fog. So it's a bit tricky. You could have lower fog, like lingering fog on the bottom, and still have the sun, but then it has to be less. Because the chances of having fog and sun at the same time are very slim. I mean, it's not going to happen. Even if you have sun, look at how a sunny fog looks like. If I can show you this image, let's see here. So this example is a sunny. I'm sure I can find a better image, but this will do probably for now. But you see how the sun goes through the fog. This is a really bad quality image. I'm sorry about that. I'm just gonna go in here. Fog City sunny. See if I can find something better. Something that would be close to your thing. This is actually they're so tiny. This is from. This is not really what I wanted, but you get what I mean, right? You get what I mean.
No, definitely.
Yeah, you need to consider finding images of sunny days with fog. I think that's the main thing you need to be careful with. I'm not really entirely finding that right now. I am finding stuff like this, which doesn't have any sun. But even this, you see, there's no texturing like you have on your footage. So you just need to be careful to not overdo it. That would be what I would say.
I would consider that.
Yeah. Someone on the chat saying you should set the piano on fire.
Unfortunately, I don't have the skills to do that.
I like that. Okay, well, let's move on to we need to do a break, so let's move on to the next shot. So tell us a little bit about our last shot. So this is completely unreal, as you said here.
Yes.
Looks fantastic. Like, what's going on here? What's this is all about?
This is the whole CG was made in Unreal.
Yeah.
And the character is Paragon. It's actually a free like a character from the Unreal like the Epic Store.
Cool.
So I basically did the camera, like the environment, and the whole scenery in like the whole CG in Real. Then I rendered everything as an OpenEXR with all the AOVs that Unreal actually can provide. Like I had a depth pass, I had some some ID maps and you know some because for some reason Unreal doesn't provide as many passes as other renderers, or maybe it's me who doesn't know how to do that. But
Oh
yeah,
no, it's not you. This is normal because Unreal, it's all fakery. None of it is real. So
exactly,
that's why it's called Unreal, I
exactly.
guess. It's a pun. But it's all fake. So there is no proper GI based AOV
Exactly.
setup. It will never happen unless they rewrite the whole engine. And the problem is, if they had all those AOVs, it wouldn't be real time. That's the issue. So it's all a
Exactly.
bit fake. So, but you can still do a lot with the Nuke Bridge. You can still do quite a few things.
And that's what I did actually. So basically, I had the geometry and I sent that to Nuke. Actually, I didn't use the Unreal to Nuke bridge. Because I discovered that like maybe a couple weeks later, and I actually added the distortion, the heat distortion, the whole fog behind and in front. I added the glow actually on the eyes, and like the whole dirt and the particles on in front of the character. So basically, it's basically that actually.
Yeah, it looks really good. I don't really have much to say. I mean, it looks great. I like your heat displacement. You might have a bit too much blur on the front panel, the front particles. Like some of them are a little bit too blurry, maybe. That could be just like some artifacting coming in from a depth pass, but it looks fantastic. I mean, I feel like you did a great job. You have some edge problems with the depth of field probably in here, but that's again, this is Unreal. I'm not sure you'll ever get it to look much better. No, I think you did a great job. I don't really have much to say about this shot. I don't really have any notes for you on this shot. I think this is great. So congratulations on that. I would say though, like I said on the beginning, I think you have too little work here. So if we recap this and wrap up, your first shot is great. It needs some tweaks, but it's a fantastic shot to show. Your second shot needs a lot of work. At this time, I think your second shot is hurting your chances of getting a job because it's not good enough to the first one. So the first one is
Okay.
better than the second one, and that's going to be a problem. And then your third shot is also better than the second one. So you should actually have it second place on the showreel. So that means you're
Okay.
missing. You either need to fix this fog shot, or you need to do a new fog, or you need to do something else. And I feel like if you want to be a true CG generalist, you need to have more footage shot based, more shots
Yeah.
based with footage. You can do them simple. They don't need to be very complicated, but they just need to look photo real. That's the whole thing. Just try
Okay.
to make as photoreal as possible. Integrate something, and I think you'll be fine. So I would recommend you fixing the fog shot and then making a fourth shot, another shot of
Okay.
something to build up your showreel a bit more because I think it's a bit lack. It's a bit small right now.
I thought maybe like I had like a fourth shot, but I thought like as if it was exceeding the 1 minute ratio, so I thought maybe it was too long.
No,
That's
no,
actually
there's
my
no
concern
problem.
about
There's
that.
no problem with that at all. Like you can go for a minute and a half. If your showreel is good, they're gonna watch it. That's the thing. Your first shot is great. They would keep watching. I think people will skip the showreel with the second shot, but then if the first shot shows up, then they will continue watching. I think there's no problem with you having another shot, and you can save some time. Actually, you can save some time on the edit by reducing the time of your breakdowns. For example, in the Formula One, your wipes with the breakdown, they can be a lot faster. I'm talking like 3 times faster than this. I don't need to see the
Oh,
wipe so slow. You can go just really quick, and then you'll earn a lot of seconds there on
yeah.
that shot. So the same goes for your fog as well. Go a bit quicker with these wipes, and at the end as
Definitely.
well. There's no problem with you going because if someone really wants to see it, they go frame by frame. As long as they are at least a couple, as long as they are there on the screen enough time for you to go frame by frame, then they can watch it. There's no point if you making them so slow. They can be faster, and then you earn more time. But I don't think you should be worried. It could be a minute and a half. It's fine. I've watched really good reels that are about 2 minutes long. It's not a problem. Like as long as they're
Okay.
good.
Okay.
So
That's encouraging. Thank you.
yeah, of course, of
I actually
course.
thought the wiping was maybe too fast, actually,
No,
and
you
I
can go
realized.
faster. Maybe go twice as fast, and you'll be fine.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Cool.
I'm gonna work on that. Do you have anything maybe
I don't
I
think so.
can
I
do?
think we're done. I think we're good. I mean, we already did a really long showreel review here. I think
For
I'm
three
happy.
shots.
Yeah, for 3 shots. I know I was very detailed, but just want to give you as
Thank
much
you.
detail as possible. But I
I'm
yeah
taking a lot of I'm taking a lot of value. Thank you.
yeah, the video will be online tomorrow with some chapters. You can watch it again. But remember, as long as you go to the same link, you can always watch
Mm,
it because it won't be private. It's going to be
yeah.
unlisted, the YouTube stream, until I put some chapters.
Yeah.
But even as unlisted, you can still watch it on the same link.
Okay.
But the chapters will come in tomorrow so that people can navigate. But yeah, I would like to thank you for joining the reel today, the showreel review. I hope it was
Thank you.
beneficial, and I can't wait to see your next showreel. Feel free to come back and to share
Yeah.
with us so that we can see the progress. You saw that we did that a few months ago. We had someone coming back from
Yeah.
GLM. He came back. Gregorio came back. It was great to see the transformation and everything. That was good. So yeah,
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the whole chat. Thank you, Hugo. Really, really, yeah, really nice feedback. It's actually the best feedback I ever had so far. So thank you. I'm
oh,
gonna work on.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
I'm gonna remove like the second shot. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of it and change it with some other work, and add maybe two other real footage, maybe.
yeah. Well, I definitely
Yeah,
think you can make something out of that second shot, but maybe with another type of fog or something else.
definitely,
So I think that's it's a good shot. So cool, man.
definitely. Thank you so much.
Well,
Thank you so much.
congratulations, and I'll talk to you later then. Thank you so much for
Really,
joining,
thank
and
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
no problem.
Please have fun, guys. Thank you so much.
I'll
Have a
see you
good
later.
evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So, thank you so much for joining. That was great. I hope people enjoyed it. So, we're going to do a break now because we've been going on for an hour and 12 minutes. So, again, like I said, Alex was supposed to be the first artist doing the reel. He didn't show up. I really hope everything is okay, Alex. I really hope so. I hope nothing wrong has happened. My thoughts are with you. I hope everything is okay. So we're going to move on to the last person that we had for today because Alex hasn't shown up. So I always like prepare and I always have people lined up for the showreel review. I tried very hard to have backup people today, but I could not get confirmation. Which actually, this reminds me, a lot of people send in the showreel, but they never email me or message me about it. And so a lot of times I've got showreels which I cannot find the person because the showreel doesn't have an email or I can't find that name anywhere. And so it's been a bit tricky to find the people because I need to confirm the people so that they can connect on Zoom. So if you are uploading a showreel, consider to email me, message me, or post somewhere your email. And also, if you already uploaded a showreel to the link that you can find on the description of this video, if you uploaded a showreel that doesn't have any name or email, just please sure to re-upload it with an email or with a name, or message me to say, I've uploaded that showreel with this name, so that I can track down, because it's been a bit tricky to track people down. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we're gonna do a break as always. You know how this is. This is a responsible stream. We chill for a moment, so we're gonna have a 10-minute break. We're gonna have a word from our sponsor, from BenQ. Again, thank you so much, BenQ, for helping support this showreel review. And we're gonna be offline for. We're gonna be on a break for 10 minutes. You can put a clock like I usually do. I always put a timer. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. Hope to see you all soon, and I'll be back in 10 minutes, okay? I'll see you very soon. Okay, we are back. Thank you so much for still being here. We're gonna move along to the second review of the day. And yeah, again, thank you so much to Madjid to doing the review. Still don't know what happened to Alex. I hope everything is okay, Alex. But I got someone else to replace, so now I have a third contestant coming in. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking around, and I'm going to basically just jump right ahead. You saw during the break, as always, I just want to shout out again. Couldn't do this stream without BenQ. Thank you so much for all the support they give to the channel every single month. I literally couldn't do this without their support and their sponsorship. So thank you so much. I'm a big fan of BenQ monitors. I'm an ambassador for them. You can kind of see it on the view here. I have three. I know I'm in front of them, but there are three there, over there. I have three monitors from BenQ. They're fantastic. They're really good. I keep doing reviews of them on YouTube, so check my channel for that. But yeah, let's just move on to the next review. So I'm going to bring in our next contestant. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to misspell it or not. I really hope not, but I think the name is Roudaina. I think that's the name. I hope I've not mispronounced it. I'm going to send you the link so you can join now if you want. I'm just going to call here. So I'm just going to do that. Give me a second.
Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
No need for that. I'm recording on my side. Okay, let's see if you're ready. Okay, cool. I'm gonna just bring you in. They say they're waiting. I'm just gonna see. Okay. Okay. Why can't it? I don't see you here. Oh, here you go. Okay, cool. I think you joined now. Did you join? I think so. Hello? Can you hear me? Ah, there you go. Ah, cool. I can see you now. Hello there. How are you doing? I can't hear you though. I think you might be muted. Wait. You might be muted. Can you hear me? Hello? Is it me? Maybe it's on my side. There's always some problems with me, isn't it? Just gonna give you some. Hello? I heard you for a second. Oh, there you go.
Okay. You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You happy for me to? You happy for me to share your webcam now, or?
What?
Can I? Yeah, I think everyone can hear you now. I'm gonna just switch to your screen here, so that people can hear you as well. Okay, cool. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Did I mispronounce your name? I hope not. How do I spell your name?
Not. My name is Roudaina.
Roudaina. Okay, cool.
Roudaina.
Roudaina. I almost got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for submitting the show reel. And I guess we start like we always do, only if you want to, of course. But do you want to share with our viewers like where you come from and what are you doing? What's your objective? What? Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Roudaina. I'm from Egypt. I'm graduated from Faculty of Fine Arts, and I worked as a VFX compositor 2 years ago. Till now.
And so you're working You're working for 3 years now. You said.
This is the third year actually.
Cool. And so what's your what's your thoughts on what are your objectives? You're currently working in Egypt, I'm assuming, or are you working remotely?
I worked on the site, not remotely, in Egypt, studio in Egypt, visual effects studio in Egypt.
Cool. I'm gonna share the showreel so that everyone can see it while we are talking. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to send an updated version of your showreel as well. Thank you so much for that. I'm just going to open up that, and I'm gonna share it with you as well, so you can see the same thing as me. So yeah, you should be able to see it now. I hope so. And I'm gonna just remove the sound and play it. Do you see my screen?
Yes, I see.
Excellent. Cool. So we are here now. Let me just sorry about that. Okay. Just gonna put the screens on the top there. So yeah, so here's your showreel. Like, this is the updated version. So this is mostly professional work, isn't it? That you don't have. Do you have any personal work here, or is this all from productions and from the work that you do on that company?
Yes, it's a 6 months work, just 6 months.
6 months? Okay. And and what's your objective in the future? Like, are you planning to continue working as a composer, or do you have any plans? What do you want? Like, what's your positions that you are thinking?
Yeah, of course. I told you I study in the Faculty of Fine Arts, graphic design department, for 5 years. Okay. And now I try to make something for the media production in Egypt, for TV series and movies. And I will be there to any project in the next time.
Cool. So you have a really good showreel. I'll tell you that. Like, it's really, really strong, really good, really a lot of work coming in here. Let's go through it, a couple of shot by shot. Like, tell us a little bit about the first shot. It says here add blood, color matching, and tracking. So yeah. Tell us a little bit about how was it doing this shot, and what is this production? Tell us a little bit.
This is a TV series called Caboose. By the way, this is my painting.
It's your painting?
Yeah, it's my painting.
On where? Sorry.
The last shot.
Oh, the last shot on the showreel, you mean? Oh, this is your painting? Oh, cool.
No. The last second, I think, or the last 3 seconds, it's my painting.
Oh, cool.
The showreel.
Oh, that's cool. And so is this so this is a physical, an oil painting that you've done?
Oil painting in the last of the showreel.
Yeah, no, I can see it. But what I'm asking you, is this an oil? So it's an oil painting. How big is it? Just so I know.
This is not oil. This is a printed design with the inkjet colors, Enocut or Linocut.
Oh, cool, excellent.
You know.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. Do you do this a lot as well? Like, do you have a lot of your work online for people to see? Like,
this is layers, yes. 4 layers or 5 layers, cutting in the lino.
No. I you misunderstood me. What I mean is, like, do you have more of your work online on a website so that people can watch more of your paintings? Do you have more paintings, or?
I have more paintings, of course, because I make it for 5 years, so I have a lot of painting, but I don't put it on any website right now. Okay,
cool. Well, looking forward to seeing more. Maybe consider doing that someday and posting it online. That would be nice.
I know it's not important to put this paintings on a showreel for compositing, but it's my touch.
No, actually,
I can't forget. I can't forget that I'm an artist.
I actually think it's a really good idea. I'm from an art degree background as well. I have a fine art degree in painting as well. which I did in the 90s in Portugal. And I feel it's actually really important because it's a nice piece of conversation, because when you are talking with your interviewer, if you're applying to a company, for example, and talking with the recruiter, this is a great way, a great segue to talk about this. That means you have another interest, you have another hobby, you have an artistic...
Yeah, I can singing, by the way.
You can sing as well.
Yeah.
But it's always good. Companies are always very interested, especially, I remember when I was still at the mill and when I was at Sony as well, and they really loved for people to share their other work, their paintings, their drawings, their music. And in fact, we actually shared it around in the company. This was really important because it kind of showed another side of the artist, and it kind of like showcases that the person is creative, So companies are always kind of looking for those types of artists,
And the next time I will put my track on the showreel, listening to my voice while watching my showreel. I will really do it in the next time.
That's a good idea. Okay, so let's go back to the first shot. So you were saying
my name is Roudaina, as you see. In Arabic language, I know, but I mean it.
So this first shot that you did with this person, that you've added the blood and the color matching. So tell us a little bit about this. What software did you use on this shot?
I only use my Nuke for compositing and Mocha Pro for tracking. I try to learn Silhouette, but I don't have time right now. I started as a motion designer, by the way, using After Effects. I made the beginning of this TV series, the intro and the outro, by the way, with After Effects as a motion designer, but I don't interest in motion, so I don't put it in my showreel.
I understand that. You don't have a breakdown for this shot, so which blood did you add? Did they have also makeup on the shot?
On his head, drops of blood and the patch on his head right now.
Okay, so the shirt was already there, and you've added the ones on the head, right?
No, just the head.
Just the head, and the blood on the shirt was already there, right? It was already
on his cheeks and on his forehead.
Okay, cool. It's very good work. I mean, there's no breakdown. I wish there was a breakdown. I wish I could see the before and the after. That was the only thing that I think it would be nice to see, but I'm not entirely sure if you have that available to put on your showreel.
I wish to, but it was very very fast to make my showreel because I want to change my current company. So it was very quickly.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. I was just asking because it's always easier for the recruiter that gets the showreel to see the before and after. It's easier for them, so.
Yeah. In the next shots, you will see the breakdown of some shots, but this I don't have the breakdown.
Yeah, I can see that on this
Maybe
one.
Maybe the next shot you will see the breakdown.
Cool. And so these shots here, you've basically added the blood splatter, right? It says CG compositing. Like it's not the blood. So the second one, which has the blood drops. The blood dropping. So that one, you've added this blood on the branch of the wood, right?
It's a CG made by our 3D artists in the studio. I just make a rematch and track for this blood. Cool.
It looks really good. I really like the way it dries up inside the wood and everything. Are these films already released? They've been finished and delivered?
Yeah.
Are they available to watch anywhere, or are they on some streaming, or are they available?
This TV series?
Yeah.
I think on Watch It, it's named Caboose. on Watch It. It's a very nice series, and you can see it on Watch It.
On Watch It, okay. It's this. Is it one of the? It's this one, right? Caboose. This one.
Caboose, yes.
Caboose. I'm gonna.
Caboose.
Okay.
TV series called Caboose.
I need to look into this because it looks really nice.
Yes, this is the poster of Caboose, I think.
Yeah. We have Star Play here as well in the UK, so probably is there. Cool, excellent. Oh, thanks for the hint. Okay, and then this shot here, the CG 3D branch covered in blood, add shadow, tracking rematch color. So basically, tell us a little bit what happened here, because we have an original shot with the branch there. Was this like they decided to replace the branch with something else?
There was a multi-channel for this branch, and they asked me to put the new branch with something like that.
No, I understand that, but what I mean is like, because there was on the original plate, I'm just a bit confused about this shot. So the original plate, which is this one, already has a branch and already has blood, but I noticed that you've replaced it with the CG branch. So is this because they didn't want the original branch that they filmed? Is that why?
The original branch didn't I don't know what meaning in English, but it didn't drink the blood. Okay.
Oh, it didn't absorb the blood.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
You know, so in the original, it just drop on the branch, so it's not something they want. They want the branch to take the blood and disappear after that.
I see. Okay, cool. Well, it looks great. I think you did a great job. I mean, it looks very different from the plate, but I think that was the objective, I guess. So yeah, I think it looks great. There is like, when I look at it, there is a couple of moments where we see some depth of field going on the back plate that is not being applied to the CG. So that's the only thing that I noticed when I looked at it, because there's like a moment here, for example here, that there's like some kind of blurring going on here on the back plate, but the blurring is not affecting the CG branch. That's the only thing that I noticed, but I think the integration looks very good, and the shot is looking very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then on the second, on the yeah, do you understand what I mean? Like, do you understand what I mean? Because when you look at the original plate here, you see this is the original plate, which has a type of depth of field. You have some defocusing here on the foreground of the branch, and then you have depth of field goes on here, and then the branch is only sharp on the middle. And
I know.
Yeah, but the new CG branch is not entirely matching that kind of depth of field. That's the thing that I've noticed, and it's actually on top of the plate, so it's a bit confusing, and that's why I've noticed that the depth of field here is not matching. Yeah. That's the only thing that I can think of telling you from a note point of view, because it's a bit distracting that it blurs on those frames and then it gets sharp again, without the CG
I try to make what you say, but the CG the CG is very blurred.
I see. Okay. But you mean the CG that you've put in is very blurred?
Yes. I try to make it. By the way, this is the final sharp cut I reached.
Okay.
Okay.
And so, let's move on to the next shot. So the next shot here, add CG stones, retouching. So tell us a little bit about this shot. Like, this shot, basically, you've composited in, you removed the well and also the grip, the camera equipment, and then you put some stones, right? Is that what that's what you did? It looks very good.
I took a patch with tracking. The shot was stable, not very strong movement, and I take a patch from the beside or something, and I put a CG stones
Yeah.
into the shot.
You've also added some new camels as well. I see that because there's an extra camel here and an extra camel here, so you've multiplied the
A new
camels,
camera.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good work. Someone on the chat was actually asking if it was supposed to look. Is this the final look of the shots? Because someone is Madjid was asking on the chat. Is that log look intended to be like that? So he's talking about the log color space. Is this the actual final color space and the final grading that was broadcasted on the TV show, or is this the raw?
No, absolutely not.
Not the final. Okay.
No.
They graded it right after, didn't they?
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Cool. So that answers your question, Madjid. He was asking on the chat. Okay, so next shot here, remove wall, 3D tracking, 3D camera tracking. So what software did you use for the tracking for this shot?
2D tracking.
2D tracking? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Where is the
same technique? I took a patch from another part on the shot and gave it. I don't give it the track. I just put it here, and it's moving.
I'm having a hard time finding. Oh, it's just the back. Okay, I see. I was like, which one is the? Wait a minute. Because on the breakdown it doesn't say. So, okay, so the original plate is this one with the field, right? That's the original plate, and then the new one is the one with the branches. Okay, I see that. Now I understand what you did here. Okay. I was trying to understand which of them was the one that you delivered. That's why. So the one you delivered is the one that has all the branches on the back there. Yeah. I see that now.
I didn't like this part in the showreel. I will remove it.
You took it away?
I didn't like this part in the showreel, actually. I thinking to remove it from my showreel.
Yeah. I also think this shot... I agree with you. I think you could probably take it out because you have a lot of really good shots on the showreel. And this shot doesn't really add anything to your showreel. In fact... it's a bit hard to notice what goes on the shot. You only after you watch a few times, and it looks to me like you have a few issues with the edges here, because when you look at the original plate, if I go to
I see the edge.
So because the original plate, of course, was filmed against the bright background, so you get like the natural light wrapping of the camera, and then when you comped in the branches, the edges are a bit loose, both on the left side and on the right side. So I would agree with you. I think because of the edge issues and also because the shot is so difficult to understand what's going on, I would agree.
Actually, I make a new version to the shot, and that is not what you will see. What will you see in the project, in the watch it?
Cool.
You will see something else, by the way. I make a new version of it.
Cool. Excellent. Okay, cool. Let's then move on to the next one. So this one here, keying, clean plate, add CG, wood leg, much move tracking. So, wow, that's a lot of work. So the person has a prosthetic, some kind of like wooden leg. So they had a blue... they had a green sock, right? The whole shot.
Yeah.
Cool.
In this shot, I just paint the stock with the... I don't know what is meaning, but I look at the wood in the shot and the color of the wood. and I try to match it, the black.
Yeah.
Just it.
I would suggest one thing to you. Like, it's really difficult to understand these shots because the method that you're breaking them down on the showreel is not very clear. I feel like you should perhaps on a shot like this, because you see, the confusing part of this shot for me is that we start with the green sock, but you show it so little time on screen that it's very difficult for us to notice that. And then you cut right away to the wood leg, and then you don't show this frame where the wood leg is going all the way down. You cut to the next sequence. So it's very confusing as a showing the shot. I think you should leave the entire shot playing so you don't cut it up, so we see the shot, so that we can see your work, you know. And on a shot like this, where we have a substantial amount of cleanup happening between the green sock and the wood leg, it would have been nice maybe to have a side-by-side. Maybe you could have on one side, on the left side, the original green sock shot, and on the right side, we could have the CG version playing at the same time for the entire duration. That way people would immediately see what you've done here, because it's very good work, but the way you've done the cutting makes it very confusing for you to understand what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
It's dark part, I think, because it's dark. And the mate is not clean enough.
Well, it's not about the dark, no. I think you've misunderstood me. What happens here, I'm going to play it back. What happens here is that you show this sock and you stay as a still there. And I'm going frame by frame now. And basically then you cut, a couple of frames later, you cut to the CG leg. But then, after that, instead of leaving the plate play back so that you see the wooden leg moving, you then cut, if I go frame by frame, you then cut to a bit later in the shot. So you see, we never see the wooden leg going down the staircase. We never get to see it because you've cut. So you should leave the entire shot playing so that we see the shot, the entire shot. And I was then doing a suggestion that perhaps having it side by side could be a good method for people to see what you've done, you know? Because because the shot looks great, so it would be nice to show it, you know, for people to see it.
I will put your taps into concentration.
Sorry, what?
I will put your taps into concentration.
Okay. Cool, but it's a really well-made shot, so it just needs that. And then you have tattoo compositing, mocha. So this is really nice because you actually, it's really well done. Basically, is this a story point that he only has the tattoo on the reflection? Is that what's happening on the story? So he's having a dream or something, I guess.
He's dreaming, looking to the mirror. But no mark on his stomach or something like that, so it will be very difficult to make it stable on his stomach.
I bet it looks very good, by the way. Very good work. I bet it was hard because you pretty much had nothing to track with, and there's also shadows going on, and there's like all sorts. It goes dark and bright, and
it was really bad.
Yeah, I bet.
And he is pretty like
so did you end up tracking, and then what? Did you have to warp some parts in on the breathing so that you would sync it with the breathing? Is that what you did?
Yeah. While breathing and while turn this. Okay.
Yeah. It's very good work. It's very, very good work. Cool. Excellent. Well, I have nothing to say. It looks fantastic. And you showed the whole shot, so that's good. So next up, you have wire removal and tracking. So this is very, very typical kind of work that we get on motion pictures all the time. One thing I would say to you though, you still have a bit of the shadow going on here on the back. So the patch is not completely gone. So because you still see a slight darkening where the rope was, both on the top one and both on the bottom one. We see
has the white shirt.
Yeah, on the white shirt. So this should not be visible. This dark area here, there, and also this dark area here. So it should be actually clean. It should be actually, because the wire wasn't supposed to be there. It's very small, it's very fast, so probably almost no one will ever notice. But just to keep in mind that it's still visible. And in fact, I can still see the shadows of the rope on the pants as well. So keep that in mind. But this is a really fast shot, so you hardly notice that. But if you go frame by frame, you see it. That's why I was saying. Now on the other fellow, I don't see any issues. It looks great. The other rig removal, there's no problems there whatsoever. It looks great. So good job there.
Okay, that shot is many shots like this. Everyone in the studio take one shot. I think it was 6 like this in this sequence. We did that. Anybody who will finish the shot in just 1 hour will be the good one. So.
Oh my God, you had what?
So
you had 1 hour. You had 1 hour to do this.
Yeah, it was a competition between us.
Oh my God. Well, if you did this in 1 hour, then I'm going to say that this is fantastic work. I mean, that's unbelievable that you did it that quickly.
We are 6 in the room studio, so everyone who put a patch on the shot say that I'm the good one. Oh, I will finish it. I will finish it before.
That's pretty insane, because a shot like this requires a lot more time than just 1 hour. It requires an entire day or two, so it's a really difficult shot. So well done there.
I know that I'm good in the patches and I'm good in the tracking, so I love to make it. This is very good for me.
Cool. Okay, so next shot here, we have a screen replacement with a phone. So you replaced... See people on the chat. 1 hour, damn it. Damn. People are surprised about that. So the screen replacement here with the phone, I mean, I think it looks good, the integration. The black point looks similar to what you had there. It's a bit difficult to completely... It's very distracting. The track is really good, but because this person on the top is moving their phone around, it looks really distracting. But that's not on your track. That's the footage of the person on the phone, because she's probably holding the phone on their hand. Because
my opinion in this shot, I told the team leader that I wanted to track the girl and make it stable on the shot. He told me that no, she's taking selfie. So let it free in the shot. I don't like that, but it was his opinion.
There's nothing you can do about it. That's the feedback you got. So I was just
let it free.
Yeah, of course. No, I think it looks great. I think it looks good. I mean, maybe in my humble opinion, maybe the black point might need a little bit darker, maybe just a little bit, because it feels to me that it's a bit washed out. But this is a bit. This is also very subjective, because some screens are more washed out, some screens are less washed out. Like different iPads and different phones have different black levels. So it's really subjective to have the black point on this specific screen. So I think you did a good job. I don't think it's.
I just make it by eye matching. So, by the way, this is not a يعني I took a screenshot from my phone and I take it and put it on the shot. It's not a CG or something like that.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool, excellent. So yeah. Cool. So someone on the chat, Madjid, was asking, like, maybe have some reflections on top of the iPad reflection. Now, here's the thing, like, there's no reflections on the screen itself because obviously they've used the white image. So because of the white image, there's no reflections. In reality, if this was being photographed for real, depending on the angle, you might have catch the reflection of the person on the surface of the iPad. But that would have...
If you put reflection, it will be much white, so it was bad.
Yeah, because you won't notice what's going on the screen. That's the issue. You won't then understand what's going on the screen because it will merge with this. So from a creative point of view, putting the reflection there would probably be the realistic point of view, but the problem is that it would not allow you to see the faces on the screen.
Because the background is white and it will be so bad.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky. I mean, it depends really on the direction of the shot. There's also other things that could have happened. Sometimes iPads are a bit more dirty. Sometimes iPads have actually fingerprints, and parts that are uneven and dirty. In my opinion, like, when you film something like this, the best solution would have been to shoot it with the black screen on the set. Because if they have done that on the set, they could have like, you could have used the reflections from the real screen, and you could have used the dirt and the smudges on the real screen. By shooting it with white, that was a problem because it became harder for you to extract some kind of reflection. If I was on set, I would have filmed it with a black screen, not a white screen.
Me too.
Because it's easier for you to add light to the hands than to remove the lights from the hands. Because now, the problem you have now is that the screen is not bright enough for the light that is emanating on the hand. Because the hand is now, like, the white bounce of that iPad is bouncing to the hands, and it's much harder to remove that than to add it. So it's a shame. It's a shame that they didn't film it in a different way. But, what can you do? There's not much you can do about it.
It was really bad on set on this movie, by the way. I know.
Well, it happens a lot. It happens more times than people probably know.
Yeah, you will surprise of the marks on the chroma in the next shot, by the way.
So next shot here, I mean, it's basically a screen
Oh my God.
a background replacement with a blue screen. I mean, I think it did a good job with the key. I think it looks great. There's a city landscape there. The edges, I don't really see any issues. Black points look good to me. Then you have this flashing thing. Oh my God. This is really tricky. This was like on-set lighting that they had there. So the problem, though, like, is that you have ended up having a slight white fringe around the edges of the doorway, and also a white fringe on the hair and everything. So this was probably because they've shot it with this bright green outside. So this was very tricky to get rid of, all of this spill that you have here from the green. But yeah, I think that's the thing that I would say. It's difficult. Again, the breakdown is very, very hard to follow because you don't show it. You see, I think in this shot is easier to actually see. You see, the issue here is that this white edge there, because they've shot it with a very bright green, this should have disappeared. This white fringe that is on this side and on this side, you should have removed that. That part should have been gone. And it could have been done. It's a bit tricky because it wouldn't happen on keying. So what you would probably have to do is either use an edge extension to actually remove that white and then extend what's inside the plate to the outside, or you would have to do some soft masking and do some color correction to try to get rid of these white edges. So that's a problem on these two shots, these white edges. But that's probably nothing you can do about it anymore.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, what I would suggest would be try this. Like, try to use in the future on shots like this. If you use the edge extension node inside of Nuke, what you can do is you can cut away the black area and then basically extend from the pixels inside the curtain. So the last pixels of the curtain, which are dark, would be extended all the way to down here, and then that would cover that white fringe that you have, both on this shot and on the next shot.
I will make it in the next time.
Cool.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and if the edge extension doesn't work, you could try to use color correction by doing. Basically, what you could do is you could use the mask that you've made, so the alpha channel, and then do an XOR, like basically use the merge node and use the last operation of the merge node, which is the XOR. Basically, what it does, it gives you a line, a single edge of the alpha, and then use that edge, basically blur it a little bit, and that will be a mask for color correction. And then you can color correct and gamma down or lift down just those areas. So that's another option. But the edge extension would be my first pick to do something like this. Yeah.
I know I'm not good enough in the chroma keying at this time. I will try to learn more about it.
It's okay. No one is. no one is good at this.
Especially with our on-set
So, and then you have here wire. This one is called wire removal. So basically, yeah.
I know wire. Yeah.
Looks great. I mean, I don't really see any issues whatsoever on that shot. The guy's falling down. There's no problems with the wires. I mean,
by the way, this actor is a mega star in Egypt.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
So the only thing I would say, it's a minor thing, but when you look back at the plate when you already cleaned up, the thickness of the rods where they're holding, the metallic rods on the balcony here, they're a little bit too thin. So if you go backwards here, and if I scroll down here, and I go to the original plate, you see how thick those rods and those metallic bars are? They're quite thick. Especially on the legs here and the one on the top. And then when you did the cleanup, I think they went too thin. So you need to next time you need to like recover some of the thicker metal rods here so that they look like they used to look, so that you've recovered them so that they match the rest of the rods of the balcony. Okay?
Yeah, it's my mistake, I know.
That's not a problem. At least you see it, so that's good. Okay, and then this is the famous actor you're talking about.
Yeah, his name is Muhammad Adil Imam. Muhammad Adil Imam.
Cool.
Okay.
I don't know if I've never heard of him, but I know
for sure you didn't.
I don't recognize his face though. Like, I don't recognize his face. But maybe I've seen something with him. These days there are so many TV shows. It's so hard to keep track. There's so much out there. So, but yeah. So this is looking great. I mean, I don't see any issues on that shot. The cleanup is flawless. The wires are removed. No issues there. Looks very good. The edges are good as well. Then you have the one of him falling down. That's pretty scary that he's actually falling down like that. So you've patched up the building there. You patched up the other side as well. You tracked it, removed the wires. Looks to me, at least as I see it, it looks to me like it's good. I mean, I don't see any issues whatsoever. Maybe perhaps just there's like a frame here where there's like on the top here, as he crosses this area here, there's like this patch looks like it moves. That's the only thing that I notice on this shot. You see that there's like a movement on this patch, and then it goes into place. So it's only 2 frames. It's only 2 frames that the patch kind of moves away. That could be the track that is going offline, or you might just need to go back and nudge those 2 frames into place. That's the only thing I notice on that shot.
Yeah, oh my God, you see that?
I do.
Oh,
I did.
okay.
So, but again, I keep saying this on my reviews whenever we do reviews on this stream.
Oh my God, you're really good.
So the thing with this is that all these notes that I'm giving you, like the for example, that frame that moves,
Okay.
the rods not being thick enough, all these things, everyone that is listening to the show right now needs to understand that sometimes when we're doing a project, we do not have the time to finish something. So that is very common, that even though I might be pointing out something, a lot of times things have been noticed already. It's just that people have run out of time to finish shots. This happens all the time in production, even my shots. I've ran out of time in shots, and I've delivered things that were not perfect and not good because I couldn't wait any longer, or they needed the shot right away, or there's a lot of elements going on here. When you're doing a private shot, like when you're doing a shot that is like your personal shot, then there's no excuse, because the person,
deadline.
there's no deadline, so you can keep the.
Yeah.
So that's why when I'm doing, people on the chat might be thinking that I'm not being as harsh as on some showreels I am. So the thing with this is that when people do a personal shot, they should do it perfectly because they had all the time in the world. But when they're doing production shots like you are doing, there are so many things that could go wrong on a production. You might not have the budget. You might not have time. You might have a bad CG on set. You might have operate a VFX supervisor. You might have just lack of time to finish things, and things need to be delivered. Or even worse, sometimes the directors or the producers might make requests that were not good. They might request something that doesn't work, but they really want that, and then there's nothing you can do. So it's exactly like Stefan is saying on the chat here. Time, quality, cheap. Pick 2. That's exactly it. You can only pick 2 of those 3. So everyone needs to keep in mind that when I'm reviewing this showreel, I'm noticing things, but I'm now noticing them after the fact. And I cannot really understate enough how much pressure and problems occur on a real production. So, people need to understand that when they're listening to this. But yeah, I think you did a great job. I just feel that these kind of things are so easily missed when you have no time. That's the problem. When you basically have no time, So it's really easy to look at it now and, this is not fixed. But at the time, there's no time to fix anything. So, yeah. I think you did a good job. Okay, so then the guy falls down, the next shot. Again, must have been quite fun for him to do this. He must have had a lot of fun jumping around like this. Okay, so the only thing I notice here is that on this frame here, you see that there's like this patch moves around here. So on this frame, you probably want to pick up this patch and nudge it with a transform node a couple of pixels down. It's only when the guy passes through that little patch
This
there.
is the only shot on this sequence have a clean plate, separated clean plate.
I see. Oh, okay. Wow, my God. You were very lucky then to have a clean plate for this one.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
And not having a clean plate. But yeah, I think the issue though is that looks to me like someone on the editing made some kind of weird frame blending like slow motion effect on the guy. So there's like this kind of weird frame. Yeah, there's something weird going on him. and that's really affecting your patches. Could it be that they slow down the plate later or something? Because that could explain why you have this patch moving here, and then you have the patch moving on the knee here. Also, you see the grid is moving as well. This looks to me like artifacts of an O-flow or a Cronus, some kind of node that is retiming the shot. Did that happen on the shot? Did they retime the shot? Hello?
Sorry?
It looks to me like you have a lot of artifacts from retiming, because you see that the patches are moving around. There's one here that moves around. There's also one here that moves around on the knee. It looks to me that someone retimed the shot. When they retime the shot, you usually get these artifacts of the retiming. Is that what happened on this shot? Do you know?
Yeah.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. It looks great though, like it's so short that no one will ever notice. So I think it did a good job, but it kind of feels to me that probably the editor or someone retimed something and they shouldn't have done that.
The editor?
Yeah, because there's like look here, the guy has 3 arms. There's something going on here that is retimed.
Lose details? You mean losing details?
No, not losing detail. When you retime a shot, when you change the speed of a shot, you get ghosting. Basically, there are 3 arms, as you can see here. You have one arm, another arm, and the other arm, and you have artifacts of retiming all over the place on the shot. Especially when I'm going frame by frame here, you can kind of see, for example, look at this metal bar here on the air conditioning. It's straight, but then the frame before it's actually round here, you see? So it looks to me that you're having some kind of artifact by the processing of the retime or the ramp that they've used on editing. That's what it looks to me like. Someone retimed this shot to either make it faster or to make it slower. So that's why you're getting those artifacts and those kind of like weird things, like him having 2 hands and 3 hands, and if you go frame by frame, of course. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you think that the editor must make it more quickly in this shot.
That's what it looks to me like. That happens a lot usually. People retime things and then it kind of like it basically changes and makes artifacts all over the place on the shot. So could be that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have muzzle flash. Yeah, that looks great. You did the muzzle flash. You did like the smoke. The only thing I would say is that if you had the time, if there was more time to do a shot like this, this is always, of course, a matter of having more time or less time. If I had the time, I would have probably painted just some slight light up on his hand, so that the hand would be lit up by this light, you know. So basically on the fingers here, I would like lit them up just on this frame so that it looks like there's some light interaction between the muzzle flash and the hand. And this would just be one frame that I would paint. So basically I would paint in the rim lights of that light source just on the hand. I don't think this light would affect anyone else, probably just the hand really. And this would be every time he shoots, I think, if you had the time. This takes a long time to do. That's why I'm saying if there was enough time, next time you do a shot with a muzzle flash, think about trying to paint in the light interaction from the muzzle flash, either on the hand, potentially a little bit on the arm here as well. I'm not so sure it would lit up his face, probably not, but at least the hand and the arm, it would light up a little bit, you know.
Okay.
From that. The same goes for this shot here. When you have the muzzle flash, it would have been this side of the hand should have lit up. You should have a bit of
on his fingers.
Yeah, you should have light hitting on the fingers, and potentially a little bit of flash on the face of the person. And then this dude here would probably also have a little bit of light, and these glasses would pick up a bit of the reflection of that light source. So that's the thing that is missing there.
This is a very huge.
Very huge. You get what?
A very huge shooting.
I see that.
Fire. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets hit. That's great. So you put the blood splatter, was it?
Add blood to this man.
Cool. Okay, and then you have they left the microphone. Okay, I see. They left the microphone. Very typical. Yeah, looks great. Very good removal that you done there. Yeah. They forgot to leave the mic. Okay, and then this person here. Oh, you removed the air conditioning. Is that the air conditioning? No, it's a water tower, maybe.
No, it's not the air conditioning.
It's a water tower or something. What is that? Is that a water? Is that some kind of thing that they had in the building?
Water.
Deposit for water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Very good work. Have no issues there. Looks great. Very well removed. And then retouching. Yeah. So you had like the replacement there, and the new map. Basically, it's a sign that you've comped in. It shakes a bit just on the beginning here. So notice this frame here, the map. If you look at the Jahara name that is down here, it moves down and then it moves up again. So this frame here, you see the map is moving down too much. And then it's static, so that would be something that I would nudge up again. Then it kind of stays there. It's noticeable when you play it back, you kind of see it moving down, like just having a little... It looks like the person moving in front of the map probably affected the track. So it's just a matter of smoothing out this frame. So the name is right here right now, and you probably just have to move it up before he covers it, and then you're good to go. The rest is fine. Yeah. So it's only like 1 or 2 frames that is moving the track.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. When you go frame by frame, you see it. And then we have the removal of the logo of the Apple. Yeah, looks really good. Did a good job. Rotoing people in front as well. Yeah, looks great. Very typical request. It's also... Must have been tricky though, because the table is moving so much. The table is like moving around so much. The computer is moving around as well so much. So it must have been tricky to do. Why is he moving the table so much? Like he's like holding the table for so strong.
He's just talking with them. I don't mind if the table. I can move the table too, by the way.
Cool. Excellent. So I think, we reached the end now. I think you have a great showreel. I must congratulate you with the showreel. You have some really good shots here. Congratulations for your amazing work. I mean, I think these blood shots on the beginning, they look terrific. Really have nothing to say. I think there's a couple of things here and there, like this branch with the defocusing. There's a little bit of a glitch there. And then, of course, we talked the camels and the rocks look fantastic. There's no issues there. This shot here had a little bit of an edge issue that you could have fixed. This one here with the leg looks fantastic. I just feel that you could show it a bit longer because I would like to see the shot a bit longer. I think you cut too soon before showing it. The tattoo looks fantastic. I have really nothing to say. The removal of the rig, I applaud you for doing this for an hour. It's amazing that you've done this in an hour. It's really astonishing work in 1 hour. I couldn't do it this
I like
good.
to win any deal, by the way.
It's very, very well made.
I'm bad in this.
The screen looks great as well. We've talked about the reflections and the smudges. They should have really shot it over black, not with white screen, but there's nothing you can do. This shot looks great with him on the window. The other two, though, have some fringing, some white edge fringing going on, which could be fixed with an edge extension.
Yeah.
This guy falling down, as we discussed, the rods are too thin. They need to be fixed. The next shot has no issues. Then when he goes down here, there's just a couple of frames that are the patch broken as he goes through the window on the top area here.
You catch it with your magical eyes. I don't know how.
Well, this is my job. So
I know.
So, and then this shot here is very strange to me that there are so many patches that are moving around. It looks to me that there's some kind of retiming, slow motion, fast motion issue or artifact going on there.
I think slow motion
could be, which is breaking the wonderful cleanup work that you've done. And then the muzzle flashes need some light interaction. The mic is good.
And needs to be small too.
Needs to be small as well, yeah. The water tower thing is great, looks great. This map just has a couple of frames that the track moves a bit, just a little bit. And then
this is because no pixel to be tracked on this shot. Every pixel he is jump.
Yep. This is where you cannot do, when you're doing these kind of shots, do not use the tracker. This has to be done by hand. It's such a short shot.
Frame by frame.
Yeah. If you do it frame by frame, it will be fine. You could definitely do it frame by frame. It's such a short shot. You could just go frame by frame and just go up, down, just go backwards and forwards, back, just like an animator does, so that you can judge the animation and then just loop it and loop it and loop it, and then you'll get it,
I tried to use transform, but it was not good.
You probably need to use a corner pin for this because you'll have different transformations on all four sides, Automated methods never work on these kind of situations. And then the logo removal looks great. Nothing to say. Yeah, great showreel. Congratulations. I think you have some really good shots here. Congratulations. Some of the stuff that we've mentioned could easily be fixed. It's always a problem when you have real production. Sometimes you don't have the time to finish them. But yeah, congratulations. I think you did a good job.
Thank you so much. I will definitely work on that in 2023. And I will put your tips into my mind. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate your feedback too.
Of course. No,
I'm a big fan of you, by the way.
Thank you.
You are, by the way. In the past, I didn't know what the meaning of compositing. I just searched on YouTube about what is compositing. You are the first. You're the first video I open in this time, and I see you talking about the movies I like. You talk about Nuke, and you talk about other programs I didn't remember now. But because of you, I tried to learn Nuke, and it was really good.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. You're very kind. Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much. I'm really, really happy to hear that I could help in any way. I'm really glad that you found your groove and you did compositing. And yeah, I want to thank you for showing up to the reel and to sharing your work with all of us. It was great to see your show reel, and feel free to upload the show reel again if you want. Tell me when you're always welcome to come back on the show as well if you want. But yeah, thank you so much for your very kind words. Thank you.
Thank you for you.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna go then. I'm gonna jump into a break, and it was very nice to meet you. And I'll see you around. If you ever need anything, just let me know. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, cool. That was great. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for sharing all your work with us. That was really good. I thought, yeah, I always like to have real production showreels on the show because, oh, sorry, I put the wrong screen on the. I'm sorry about that, everyone. Sorry, my shortcut with the Steam Deck here is not working for some reason. Not sure why. I clicked on the button and nothing happened. But yeah, like I was saying, thank you so much for sharing your showreel. It was very kind of you, and also it's always really good to have real production shots on the show, because it just gives you a different perspective. It shows you kind of the problems that we sometimes have when dealing with deadlines and dealing with real shots. I think you did an amazing job. Roudaina, I think taking into account that you had very tough deadlines, I think you did a great job. So yeah, let's do a break now. We'll be back in 10 minutes. We have one last review to do. This will be with Moises. I'll be with you in about 10 minutes. So just give me a little bit of time to do a break and stretch my legs. Feel free to don't forget to stretch your legs, get some water, look at some of the screen for 10 minutes, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes, and then we'll do the last showreel review, and then we'll do also the giveaway of the new course that I have to give away. So I'll see you all very soon in about 10 minutes. Okay, I am back. Thank you so much for sticking around. We have our last contestant today. And yeah, I still don't know what happened with Alex. Thank you. I hope everything is okay with you. But I managed to get someone that was available to fill in, which is going to be great. So I'm gonna call him. And remember, we're gonna do this last review. And then after that, we'll do the giveaway. And as always, I just wanted to make sure I mention BenQ one more time. BenQ is the reason why we're doing these showreel reviews. I can't thank BenQ Europe enough for them. So if you ever want to know more about BenQ, just feel free to contact me. As you all know, I use BenQ monitors all the time. You can see it on my setup here. I've been using them for years for color correction, for grading, for compositing. So if you ever have a question about it, just let me know. I'm very happy to give you some details of what their monitors are capable of. But yeah, let's join in the fun here and do the last review. And let me just open up Zoom here. And see, where is it? Where is Zoom? Okay. So I'm going to start the Zoom meeting here.
Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
I really need to switch off this recording thing. Okay, so you can join now. I'm just going to see here. You can join now. Oh yeah, I can hear you already. Can hear you. So, your name, I hope I'm not mispronouncing, but your name is Moises, right? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, cool. Your webcam and everything. So let me just put this on the screen here. Yeah, my buttons are not working, so I need to do it manual. That's fine. So everyone can watch you now. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for filling in so quickly. Because I as I told the audience, I had someone else lined up because I always confirm everyone to go to the show. And thank you so much for coming in so quickly because you just contacted me.
Thank you for having me.
No, not a problem. So as always, would you like to introduce yourself and tell the audience here where you're from, what are you doing, what kind of things you've done in the past? Tell us about yourself.
So I am a student right now. I am about to graduate in 6 months in a university from Mexico. So I am from Mexico. Cool. I went and did a diploma in Vancouver for 1 year, which it was where I developed most of my skills as a compositor and also while watching your course. And then my background was a little bit about graphic design and motion graphics. So I started as motion graphics artist with After Effects, and then I stumbled upon your videos, and well, that the rest is that I'm here right now trying to get into the industry as a compositor. So
cool.
That's who I am.
Well, first off, congratulations and for your showreel. I'm going to show it in a second. And also, thank you so much for joining today. And thank you so much for being a student as well. I know you've done my new course, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And thank you so much for joining the fun as well.
Well, I'm midway through, but
midway through.
Still, yeah.
You were saying that you were from Mexico. Are you in Mexico City right now?
Yeah, no, I'm in Mexico, but the city is called Monterrey. So okay. I'm in Monterrey. I live in Monterrey.
Cool. Yeah. And yeah, you said 6 months. You're gonna finish your degree. So what's your plan? Like what do you want to do? Where you want to go and work?
Well, I want to get a job as a compositor. That's why it was a big deal for you as a VFX supervisor to just honest review on what you see, so I can better improve and my skills and my portfolio, or get rid of some things actually. But yeah, that's my goal, to get first to land a job and get into the industry, and hopefully one day be on set as a VFX sup.
I'm just opening your showreel so that everyone can see your showreel while we're talking. And so do you have any dream company that you would like to work, or do you already have something in mind? Like, well, tell us a little bit about that.
Of course. So it would be Weta or ILM.
Okay.
And because I just admire their work. And yeah, that's kind of like the companies that I would like to get into. But of course, Weta is only hiring people with 5+ years in experience. So
well, they are and they are
that.
not. We'll discuss that in a minute. Like it kind of depends really what you do and what you are and where you're coming from. It's always a bit dependent on that. You can see I'm sharing my screen with you. You see it, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, cool. I'm just looping your showreel so that everyone can see your work while we're chatting. You know, it's probably better for everyone to see it. It's always better than just looking at our faces.
Okay.
So obviously, I'm really glad that you have that objective, Veta or ILM. Obviously, keep in mind that Veta is mostly located in New Zealand. They are just there. Of course, at the moment, they're probably one of the best places to work in the world. Probably for me, in my opinion, together with DNEG, is probably like the best place making some of the best VFX work right now. ILM is a bit, not easier, but what I mean is it's a bit easier because you have a lot of locations. They exist everywhere. You know, they have in the States, they have in Europe, they have a lot of offices all over the world, which is a bit easier for you to kind of like move. But like always with these companies, it's a bit like when I started a long time ago, my dream was to work either at the mill or ILM, and I managed to work at the mill. And I feel like that dream was only a reality when I finally moved to the place where those offices were. So that would be the thing that I would say to you. The first thing I would say to you is that if you want to work at ILM or if you want to work at Veta, you kind of have to move to near those offices, because unfortunately the reality is that there's so much competition, there's so many people bidding for these jobs that sometimes it's hard for you to be picked, because being in Mexico like you are, for them to hire you, they would have to give you a visa to come into the States, for example. Or if you wanted to come to ILM in London, you would also have to have a visa. Obviously, if you're already a student in a country where they already have an office, it's probably a little bit easier. But unfortunately, the reality is that either you have to live in that country and actually be able to work there, and then it will be a lot easier for you to get hired. That's why I was saying that sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not. The other approach would be to work on other different companies before you jump into that bigger company. That's the other approach that you could do. Let me ask you this then. Is there any big studios in Mexico for VFX? Have you looked into that? Like, I actually don't know, so that's why I'm asking as well. I'm curious.
Yeah, there are some of them, but as a reality, there are not many. There's a few that do work for the States, and they are basically being outsourced as a studio, and almost none of the studios do work that is being produced in Mexico, or at least what they do is very it's very limited.
Yeah,
of
course.
So that's why I'm trying to get into other country to get a job as a compositor, maybe being there as a student doing a master's degree or something that could be easier, as you said, to hire me.
Yeah, because a lot of companies, if you're already in the same country, they probably, if they like your work as a student, they might take the plunge and bring you in with a visa as an intern or as a junior. A lot of companies in London do that, actually, for example. Having said that, there are situations where they bring people from further away if they really love the work. So it really depends on your showreel, of course, which we're going to go into in a minute. The showreel is great, but someone on the chat has actually mentioned that Veta has an office in BC as well. I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that they had another office. I thought they were exclusively in New Zealand. So that's great. That's great to know. I know ILM is all over the place, so you'll probably easierly find a place in ILM than in Veta. Veta is also very hard to go in. I have a lot of friends working there, and their bar for entry is very high, as you probably understand. Like, they are so high end that they will not take anyone. They will really pick their people that they're gonna hire. So keep that in mind as well. I have friends of mine that have a lot of experience, and they didn't manage to get into Veta. So it's a tricky place. And also, there's a lot of people that are working there for a long time. They've been there for a long time. So it's like usually like a long-term project company, a place. Bertonini here is saying that All-in VFX in Mexico is a good option. I don't know of that company, but I don't know if you've heard of it as well, of course. But he's mentioning that on the chat. But anyway, you can read the chat later as well. You can always rewatch the chat if you rewatch this video. Okay, so first things first, let's jump into this to the showreel. So you're seeing my screen, so I can scrub. So tell us a little bit about what's going on here. So first shot, the woman drowning. What's happening here? Like, what you did, what's going on? Because you didn't write any description, so I'm just like asking you.
Okay, so what I was trying to achieve here is to create a shot of like kind of horror shot, because I wanted to have variation in my showreel, in something that would not tell a story as a whole, but individual stories that, okay, did horror, I did a little bit something more calm, and also showcasing the skills. And for example, here I add the veins and remove the eyebrows, and I graded it in a way so it would look a little bit more terrifying.
Yeah, it looks great. It has that typical It Follows kind of look in grade, which is nice. So, and what exactly, where did you get this plate? Did you film it yourself, or did you find it, or where is this plate from?
Actually, some of the plates are bought by Raw.film website, which is stock footage that they sell that has been shot in red camera.
I see.
So I bought the license of these videos, some of them, as I said. And
it's really high quality, yeah. It's really good footage. I think you did a great job. So how did you accomplish this? Was this like nuke compositing, projection, or 3D tracking, 2D tracking? Tell us a little bit about how you accomplished this shot.
So yeah, it's all done in Nuke, and it's made with motion vectors.
Cool.
And I tracked the face and did some patches, and actually the veins are 3 branches. And I try to achieve the look from the Witcher, the show.
Yeah.
And yeah, I basically tracked it with motion vectors and stick it to the footage, try to add highlights with, like, to make it look a little bit bumpy, and a little bit of shadows. And also I did a little bit of grading in certain areas so I can relight the veins, because there's like a key light coming from the right side, but the field light from the left, it's all different lighting. So I try to match the black levels in different areas of the face.
Yeah. No, you did a great job. I have nothing to say, really. Like, I think it's fantastic work, and you even you've managed, because you've choose to use vectors. That was a really good choice, because you got all the details of those bubbles. They're all still there, which is great. Like, the whole surface of bubbles and water in her face is still there, on below and on top of the veins. It's very well integrated, so well done. Like, I think this shot looks fantastic. It's really good. Now,
thank you.
I'll debate if it should be this shot first on the showreel, but we'll talk about that in a second. But I think it should. But I think did a great job. Other things as well that I can see that you did some really, really advanced cleanup as well on the eyebrows as well, which was really, really well done. How did you accomplish that? Was that also vectors in 2D patches, or how did you accomplish that? The same thing?
Yes, vectors and roto paint, basically.
Okay, I see. I think it is well done. I think you did a good job of leaving the water as well, and the blur levels look good to me. I think you did a good match there. I'm just like going frame by frame. That's like just checking. I mean, it looks different, but that's normal because it is different. She's shaved, so that's the idea. Yeah, no, this is a great shot. I think did a good job. It looks very scary, that's for sure. Okay, cool. That shot is great. Let's move on to the next one. So tell me a little bit about this shot. I'm assuming you're trying to replicate that famous painting, the painting from what I can't remember the name of him.
The Wanderer above the sea.
Exactly. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this. What's going on here?
So this was actually the first project I created to develop my portfolio, and I was trying to look like for ideas and getting like all sorts of like, okay, what can I do to create something cool and that also showcases the skills? So I basically navigated to famous paintings, and I liked this one and what it represented. And the city where I come from is all mountains, so it was kind of, in a way, in an artistic way, it was something that I was feeling like the guy that is standing in the hill, because it's just looking at something that you're not sure, that is not clear. And at that moment in my life, it felt that way because I was in a new country studying what I liked. I could see that I had like something to get, like I wanted to get somewhere. That's what I mean. But the path was not clear. So that's kind of the artistic explanation of this shot.
Yeah, of course. No, I think the shot looks great. I would say though, like that. Well, let me ask you this before I make this comment. What is the final shot? Is it this one where it says anamorphic lens effect? Is that the objective, is to make this final shot? Or is the final shot the actual gallery painting shot of your shot? Which one is the final shot that you're trying to make?
Okay, so the final shot it's both. I wanted to make a transition in which the live footage was shot, and then as the camera goes backward, it turns into the painting, so it can reference to the actual painting. So the first concept and the first idea was, okay, how would it look if actually it was not a painting and someone was filming a guy in that scenario, and then it becomes a painting.
I see. Okay, so it's both. So then I know what I'm gonna say then. By the way, there's someone on the chat called Calvin Gotta. Thank you so much for joining. He says he's a compositor at ILM right now in London. He likes your showreel quite a lot. So see, it's already having a good, maybe you look for Calvin on LinkedIn and maybe thank him there. You never know. It might be a nice contact to do. So the reason I was saying this is because I really think the idea of the shot is fantastic. I love this idea. It's great. And I love the scenario on the mat, in the painting, and the gallery. This looks great as well. Showcases a lot of skill set. You have Unreal here, you have compositing, you have all sorts of things. And as a gallery shot, looks fantastic. The painting, the texturing, everything is looking really good. What I'm not so happy about, like personally, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way, is that I feel that this shot is not finished. Like when I look at it, and I kind of feel that it's not completely photographically complete yet. And that could be because just the contrast levels and the lighting levels, there's something strange here. And I feel almost like maybe it should have been more overexposed or maybe more moody. There are probably options here to do, but when I look at this shot, there's something that doesn't gel completely. And I feel that it's just lacking a bit of photorealism. And I think that's like, it's amazing what you've done anyway. Like, because looking at the original plate, it's remarkable that you've managed to do this shot with such a such a crappy green screen little shoot that you did there. Is this you and your friends that did it? Is that what happened here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's also another problem here that I feel you filmed this. I don't know which lens you've used. It looks pretty flat to me. I'm not entirely sure, but it kind of looks like a 50 maybe, or a 45. I'm not entirely sure. It's definitely not very wide. It looks pretty flat in terms of a lens. But then when you comped him in to the final shot, because you had to scale him quite small, it doesn't really fit in so well, because you have to make him so small in this magnificent, huge shot. So there's just something that kind of looks like he's in the wrong aspect. He looks like he's on the wrong lens. He looks like he's too wide. He's shot too, probably needed to be flatter for him to live in this environment. That's the first kind of clue that kind of makes it look weird. But then I kind of feel that your sky probably should be like, because if you look at him, like, let me just go to the end here, to the final part. By the way, your projection system looks great. Like, I love that you've done this entire thing inside of Nuke. It's looking fantastic. But when you look at the final shot, there's just something weird about the black levels as well. Like, he has a certain type of black levels, but then the environment doesn't really catch that up. And then your fog banks are probably a bit too thick. There's just something weird going on here. And my advice to you, and I can't really completely nail it, what it is, my advice to you would be to try to get a real photo and replicate it. Is this from a real photo, or is this a mixture of photos? What's going on here?
In the matte paint?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a mixture of photos.
Yeah, because it's always better for you to kind of have one photo as a master and then just add things. Because I don't completely believe that these rocks on the just round the left of him, just on the middle, I can't completely believe that these rocks are part of this plate. As I also don't believe completely that these rocks on the right and on the one on the upper left are also completely part of this plate. I can believe the rest. I can believe the hills on the back. They look great. I can kind of believe the rocks on the, like, I can believe on the forest on the front as well. And your rock formation looks cool. Although I think perhaps you shouldn't have fog on your rocks, because the fog is lower. So the fog should be on the bottom area and not on the upper area. So there's just like a couple of things here that are making it look a bit weird. I know I'm being a bit vague, but it's hard. Like, do you have any photo that you inspired yourself to do this matte painting, or was just the painting itself that you took cues from? Because I'm just
referencing the painting. That's
the painting
why
itself.
Yeah,
but I'm just trying to find a rock formation that would be similar to this. Like, well, let's just start with the painting and see if we can kind of like go from there. I know you can't see it yet, but I'm gonna share my screen so that you can see it. Just give me a second. I'm gonna just wear Zoom. Sorry about this. Just because I need to like stop sharing this and start sharing my entire screen so that you actually see not just the quick time of your thing, but also my screen itself. Just a second. Yeah, now you should be seeing my entire screen. So here's the painting. Let's just have a look at the painting here first. See if I can find it. Come on. You know, let me open it or not. I'm having a bit of a lag here on my... No, that's not it. So, and now let's open up your matte painting. You see, immediately, I know it's supposed to be a painting, so it's not supposed to look the same, but immediately, do you notice that there's no fog on his rock formation on the front, and he actually has a pretty black point, because he's contrasted. He's basically back, like the lighting is in the front, so he's almost like a silhouette. And there's really no light hitting him from the back or hitting him from anywhere. So he's basically a silhouette, and there's no fog here. And then all the fog formation is in the front. I think that is the first thing that you should try to do with this matte painting. I think you should remove completely the fog on the rock on the bottom here. Probably potentially brighten up the environment a little bit more so you have a bit more light coming into this environment, and then make him a little bit more silhouetted. And just try to find photos of something like this. Maybe you've mentioned that you've seen these kind of rock formations nearby in Mexico. Maybe try to find photos of this area and see if you can gather some elements from it and try to see some cues from it to make this more realistic. I think that's what's a bit strange for me when I look at this. But it's nothing that you can't solve. I'm sure you can solve it. I just feel like even if you look at the original painting, even the original painting is so much more contrast that I think also contrast will probably help your shot as well. But I really want to make sure you understand that I think the shot looks fantastic. I'm just like giving you a little. I think you should go further with the shot.
Yes.
I think you should make it more photoreal, because at the moment it's too stylized, and it would have been amazing if it was a complete photorealistic shot of someone in front of this mountains, and then it converts it to a painting. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I do understand, and I appreciate the feedback, because I actually was trying to, like, I don't know why it doesn't feel complete. I felt the same way, but I couldn't do anything, like, because I didn't know what to do. And now with his like commentaries, I can see why it does look that way. And also when I was grading with the black levels, I try to make, like, if the lens was covered also with fog, that's why everything is a little bit washed out.
Yeah.
But as soon as the contrast is there and the black levels of the silhouette of the subject is similar or more similar to the painting, I think it will look much better, and also increasing the exposure in clouds and
I think so. And I really advise you to go and look for real areas in the world that have these kind of environments. I can't, top of my head now, I can't remember a place that has something like this, but I'm sure if you search online, you can probably find something like, I mean, do you know any place that would be similar to this place? Like, do you have any ideas? Like, we can search it real quick in Google here, but I can't remember.
I looked up for the place where the painting was inspired, and I think it was called Swiss. I forgot the actual name, but
let me just see if I can find it. If I just search as real location,
Saxon, Switzerland.
Saxon, Switzerland.
Yes.
Okay. Saxon, Switzerland. Yeah, I probably won't find the photos. Saxons. So Saxon what? With an X?
Yes.
Saxon, Switzerland. And then if I put fog, will I get any luck? Yeah, I can see that. Someone actually tried to do the same thing. Not quite. The angle is a bit off. Let's see here. Is there anything here that give us... Immediately as well, you can kind of see that even when you look at these photos, there's always this kind of world where they have sun somewhere. It just makes the shot look better. Like, for example, look at this photo, like where you have the sun rays coming through the fog and brighten it up with orange. That looks quite pretty. But then you have also some cold ones as well. I can't really, I'm not, now we're doing a live stream, so I won't find exactly what I want, but let me just download this image here and just see. I think this is going to be a process that you're going to have to do for a couple of hours and just like search something that would fit in. But when I look at, and also I also think there's a place here where you could do some nice grading as well to make it look better, But yeah, so if you, for example, look at the way that this photo is, you see the amount of fog that only occurs on the back plate, which you see, it's very similar to yours. It's actually very similar, the type of fog. I just don't believe that would be so much fog on front here. So I think you should clean up this first layer of fog in front of the forest so that you get the forest. You see here how clean it is right here, close to camera. It's quite clean. So I think these forests here should be clean as well because they're quite close to camera. Then you don't have any fog on the rock itself. And then the fog would just be on the back, just like on the photo. And I think that way would already help the photo to look better already, your matte painting. Then the second thing I would do is I would probably silhouette the person a bit more, because you see even in this photo, this woman, she's a bit darker as well on the back. I think unfortunately when you shot this, you shot it with too much light, and so you should have really shot it a little bit more on the light on the front than on the light on the back. I think it would have been easier, for it to. And then of course on the clouds, I would definitely try to bring in some color into it and some sun into it. I think that would help. But you know what to do. I really feel that you can find some references and try to then mimic those references from real photos, from real photography. I think that would be the best solution for you. But in hindsight, if you were ever to do this again, I think the problem already started when you shot it, because you see, when you look in here, not only this is very flat, but the sun, like the light, it would have been so much easier if you shot the person, with the light in front instead of the light in the back. It would have helped so much, because then you would have had a much more silhouetted outline with a rim light in the front, and then that would have fitted better the shot, of what's in front of this person. I think that would fit it much better. But hey, again, like I said in the beginning, I think this shot is fantastic. I just think you need to do more, because it could be so much better, And then and especially because I love this transition to the painting, and it's a shame that you didn't really nail it, because then when I look at the painting looks astonishing. Like this looks so much better. That's why I was asking you if this was the final shot, because this looks so much better than your matte painting itself. So that's why I was asking. Because if you would have told me that the objective was to do this, then I would say, yeah, it's fine, it's perfect now. But if the objective is to do the other shot as well, then you have a problem. And especially consider this: if you have, your objective is to be at ILM or Veta, you need to be better. You just have to be more photoreal, because they're not going to accept it to look so off. There's too many photographic related issues on the shot for them to consider you a good compositor to bring in. But it already showcases. Well, I mean, as a compositor, as a junior or as an intern, I definitely think they would hire you, because you show a lot of promise. You show a lot of promise because you're so creative, and you're already almost there. You just need to kind of do that extra step, So please don't let my feedback let you down. I think you've done you did a really good shot. You just need to try to do a little bit better, and then you'll be fine,
Of course not. It does not let me down. It's good. It's something that I needed to hear, because I didn't actually could find not the solution, but I couldn't tell. I could tell it was wrong in a way, but I couldn't fix it because my eye was not already as trained as yours. So it is good that you mention it. So
yeah,
I now see it, and also it was the first project I did. So it was
it's astonishing. It's amazing. If this is your first project, congratulations. I have nothing to say. If you should see my first project. It looks like shit. It doesn't look good at all. So I think you did great. I think it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to do with the trained eye. It's more like just look for. I feel like sometimes people tend to not look enough on photo references. Just go through the internet, go wild, and just spend a few days looking for hundreds of photos of similar landscapes. And once you watch all those photos, you are going to find exactly the elements you need to bring into your comp. That is the trained eye. There is like really getting good references. I think that's the way to go. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, let's move on to the next shot. So tell me a little bit about this shot. So where did you get the footage? Did you film it? Like, what's going on this second shot?
In the station?
Yeah. Are you still seeing my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so this is also a stock footage that I bought, and I basically wanted to show cleanup and maybe replacement of the window, and yeah, it was to show that I can clean up some things in the background, in the foreground, and there was also a guy that was coming down the stairs, and then the skirt was over out, and then I did a roto of that. So it's roto, cleanup, and tracking.
I don't really see any issues. I think it looks great. I mean, I don't see any edges, any problems, any patches. It's always hard because of the compression of the internet, but it looks fine to me. I think it did a great job. It's a great exercise of cleanup, and definitely a typical shot that you will do in production for sure. So this is the type of bread and butter compositing stuff that people do every day. Yeah, I think you did good. I don't really see any issues. I think you did great. So have nothing to say about this shot. Good work.
Thank you.
Next shot here, short film collaboration. So tell us a little bit about this shot.
Okay, so while I was doing all of the previous shots, or mainly the one of the mountains, I got reached out by a film production student in the school that I was, and she told me, okay, we need a portal that brings up a castle, and this is the shot, and this is the case where the castle will show up. And I basically couldn't do anything further than just try to merge everything of what they had in mind.
Of course.
And they wanted to create like a magical spell. So it was, okay, this is something magical. A castle appears.
Yeah.
And there's many things that I don't like about this shot, but still I intentionally place it there because I wanted to showcase my abilities to collaborate and be in short deadlines, because I had a month to do the castle and the comp. So I did the model for the castle, and someone helped me texture it. And it was very tricky, especially because the tracking markers they placed in the case, does not help me a lot, and the case is reflective. So, and also the perspective is from above, but they wanted to see the front of the castle at the same time.
Yeah. So you had to it's a very stylized shot. It's almost like a motion graphic shot, really, to be honest. So I understand what you mean. I think it looks good. I feel like it's a good shot, but I would say that it's not the type of shot that you would have for compositing, that's for sure. Like, it's not like a typical shot for compositing to get a job as a compositor. That's the thing to keep in mind. So, and that's your last shot. So I don't really have anything to say because it's a highly stylized shot and the motion graphic shot. I don't think you could do anything better with it. There's no real way. Once you have the wrong perspective and this CG looks a bit stylized, I mean, there's not real much you can do about it. I do think it looks cool. I like it. I like it. It's a nice shot. So I think you could keep it on your showreel unless you start having more shots to put in, So yeah, so I like you have credits. That's nice. Okay, so now that we've done the whole showreel, let's go back. I'm gonna leave it looping, so we'll talk a little bit now. So here's the thing that I will tell you. Like, if you really want to get a job at ILM or VETA or even even if we don't get it there, if you want to get a job at DNEG or at the mill or any of the places that work on a top level, which I really, really commend you for trying to do that, because I always advise to all my students and to all the people that I work with, always at least once in your lifetime work on a big studio, because working on a big studio changes your life forever. It changed my life. I've worked on several big studios now, and it really changed my way of quality control. It changed my methodologies. It changed my pipeline abilities. It changed everything. It changed my critical eye. It changed my quality standards, So working on a really big studio is a great goal for you to, at least once in your lifetime, to work there, because it will then forever change the quality of your work, but it'll also bring you all the networking necessary to then continue your career. I would just advise you not to stay there for too long and try to move around, and don't stay too long on one single studio, because it's always better for you to experience different things, especially because you're young. So I think that's a good part. Now, having said that, when I look at your showreel, I don't think at this moment your showreel is good enough for you to get hired. And the reason I think that is because I think it's lacking certain skill sets that you need to showcase. So let me start off. Projections and tracking, you've nailed. Like, the eyes look fantastic, great stuff. The cleanup of the train station looks fantastic. I have nothing to say. So that's done. That side is done. What you're missing? You're missing proper green screen compositing. You do not have that on your showreel. I know that you can consider this green screen compositing, but this is not green screen compositing. This is just like a really simple person standing very still on a very flat green. It's not giving you a skill set. When you want to showcase green screen compositing skill sets, you need to showcase hair detail, floating and flying, and hair and wind, and people running with motion blur and jumping and getting off frame and in frame. You want to have the messiest shot possible to showcase your skill set with dealing with rotoscoping, keying, and motion blur and edge protection, when you're doing keying. So I'm definitely missing that on your showreel. I do not see anything showing that you are good at keying alpha or roto. Having said that, I am also missing a rotoscoping shot as well, where you show proper splitted mask and splitted elements of a roto, so that you have a proper breakdown and breakup of shapes on a roto. And this could be also something complex. Someone running, someone jumping, someone on a bike, someone getting hit, someone doing kung fu, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you're definitely missing rotoscoping as one shot and keying as one shot. You can merge both if you want as well, but that's definitely missing on your showreel. You've also kind of nailed the projection 3D system of Nuke for matte painting, although you need to tweak it. But this is showing me that you know what you're doing, especially because you're showing me the Nuke interface. You can clearly see, okay, this artist knows exactly what he's doing. He knows how to use Nuke's 3D system, so I'm happy with that. So, and then the last thing I'm missing in your showreel is a proper CG composite, and I feel like this one is not it. I think once you do a proper key and a proper roto and a proper CG comp, you should remove this shot. And when I'm talking about CG compositing, it could be a simple thing, man. It could be as simple as getting a CG car comped in somewhere, or comping like a CG object somewhere. Or don't think too complicated. It doesn't need to be a robot. It doesn't need to be an explosion. It doesn't need to be like a sci-fi scene. No, think simple. Okay, like, if you have a street with cars, try to remove some cars and put another car there from another brand. Try to think like compositing that we do every day. When we're doing compositing in projects and films, the invisible visual effects is going to be the majority of the work that you're going to be doing. So you need to show, just like you showed me on this shot with the train station, you need to show me invisible skill sets of merging things in. So I really feel that your showreel is very good, and I think you're very talented. But I'm definitely, even if you can't get CG in, because maybe you'll only be able to do that later on, at least try to get some proper rotoscoping and some proper keying with really difficult keying. And one good way to find CG would be to partner up with someone. If you can partner up with another artist that does 3D, then they can do the 3D, you can do the comp, and then both of you have a shot. So consider that as well. Those would be my advices. Of course, I know that other people will give you other advices, but I would advise you to try, maybe start simple. Start with keying in Roto, start with that. And then if you can find someone to help you with CG, then maybe do a more complex CG shot. It can even be a stock piece of CG that you've got and comp it somewhere, So, yeah. Well, so I've been talking for a long time. I apologize for that. In Portuguese, I talk too much. But what do you think about what I've said?
It makes sense. I'm really grateful that you pointed out those things, especially because at this stage, that's what I need, honesty, and basically what would you, as your perspective, as like what would make me valuable. So this is real good information to know. And I do have some CG integration that I didn't like much. That's why I didn't place it, but you didn't see it, so it's basically as if I don't have them. So
exactly.
I will add them to my reel, and telling you that I have them is not like helpful.
No. But some people sometimes think that's. I noticed that sometimes some students and some artists have a feeling that when someone is when a recruiter approaches you and maybe hires you, like maybe books you for a meeting or an interview, I have a strong suspicion that some people think that the recruiter will go and look for your work elsewhere. They will not. I can guarantee, because I have a lot of students that say, "Oh, but I have all this stuff on ArtStation. Why didn't they check there?" I can categorically let you know that no one is gonna ever go and search for anything. They're just gonna see the showreel. I mean, if your showreel is amazing, maybe they'll go then and search a bit more and look around. But you will always be judged by what's inside these 1.5 2-minute showreels. No one will ever go and research because they have too many people. They have too many people recruiting. They don't have time to go around and check and look for what you've done. And so you only have really one shot at this. Maybe you'll be lucky. I mean, sometimes I go and look, but maybe you'll be lucky. If I saw this showreel, I probably would have been curious. I looked at it and I thought, oh, Vancouver Film School, that's a nice school. And then I would, which is good that you put it on the beginning because it's a very respectable school. Then I look at your shots and I think, oh, there's something interesting about this dude here. I'm going to go and look elsewhere, or maybe I'll ask him for some questions and maybe you'll get some questions. But there's definitely some stuff missing, which you need to really address. If you want to get if you really want to work on these high-end places, you need to do that. You need to add more complicated things to blow them away, because I'm afraid competition is very big and there's a lot of people out there that are better than you. And it's really tough. It's really tough to get a job, and it's not just the work that you do, it's not just the showreel, but it's also a bit of luck as well, having luck to be watched by the correct person, and just that specific time and space that maybe you were lucky enough to have your reel there and they watched your reel before someone else. So there's a lot of luck involved on this as well, because there's so much people, there's so much work, but there's also so much people trying to work on the industry.
Yes.
So
appreciate your feedback.
There's over 30,000 new compositors in the world, so it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. There's probably even more than that, but at least the people that you can kind of count as people working in companies and having licenses, and people that are actually registered and you can know about them, So it's a lot of people. But yeah, I really hope that this was beneficial in some way. I hope so.
It is.
Yeah. And
very helpful.
And I must say, feel free to. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Feel free to re-upload your showreel or contact me again, I'm very happy to always do that again, because we've done that a few times on the show where someone uploaded their reel and then they came back. I like that because then people can see an evolution, they can see how things turn out. And so yeah, feel free to contact me. You have me on Discord now, we can talk more. You of course are in my course. I'm always available to talk to you as much as you want. I don't believe we've talked much before this review.
No.
But don't be shy. I'm always on Discord, and I try to respond to all my students as fast as I can. If you don't get a reply from me, just nudge me, because it's my responsibility to help you because you're my student. So just nudge me, just pick on me and I'll answer you, because I'll see the little green logo there of Discord and I'll see, oh, he's my student. So then I'll go and answer you, If it's just the black logo, which is the regular Discord, I'll ignore you because I have too many people. Many people contacting me. But if you have the little green logo for the course, for the Discord course, I'll of course reply to you as soon as possible. So if you ever want to do this privately, we can do a showreel review together, just two of us if you want. I'm very happy to help you as much as you can. You're my student, so just keep that in mind, okay?
Thank you so much.
Not a problem. And with that, I think that's it. So I'm gonna leave you to the rest of the day. I hope you have a wonderful day. And this video will be published with the chapters in a couple of days. Although you can still watch it because the link is the same, so you can still watch it even if it's unlisted if you want to rewatch it. So, but yeah, thank you so much for joining, Moises, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. I hope you have a great day too.
Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Okay, cool. So I guess that's it for today. We can't believe we're doing this for 3 hours and a half now. Thank you so much for everyone that joined. We're gonna now do the last giveaway. We're gonna do the giveaway now. I know it took a long time. I'm sorry. I kind of got distracted. I should have done it earlier, to be honest. But we're gonna do it now. So I'm just gonna just give me just 1 second because I need to kill Zoom, because Zoom is really lagging. It's really, really, really lagging my machine here, and I need to kind of kill a couple of things here. So that just bear with me. So yeah, so I've shared the link. Oh, thank you so much for saying that, Mateus. He says such a nice review. Thank you for saying that, Mateus Silva. Very kind of you. Ashish also says, really informative session. Thank you so much for saying that as well. Madjid has a question. I have a technical question for you, Hugo. Speaking of Roto, seeing how Roto Brush 2 is a game changer, is it acceptable to use it and then export the alpha to Nuke? Yeah, I mean, anything you can do, it's fine. Just keep in mind, Madjid, that they might not have that software at the company. So maybe look for what software they use in the company. Most companies use Silhouette for Roto. So keep that in mind, that if you go to the company, you might need to use Silhouette. They might not want to use that software. Or maybe they will use it. It's always a question of showing them as well. Companies are always surprisingly open when they need to. Cool. A lot of really good feedback here. Thank you so much for everyone that shared. So we're going to do the giveaway now. No, the giveaway is not for the monitor. Sorry. We've done that last year. We did 2 of them. We gave away 3 monitors last year. This time we're giving away my Nuke course for free, which is a Nuke course that is valued on £250. I will have more monitors to give away in the future, but not today. Let's just check here the winner for the giveaway. So I'm going to draw the winner now and see who won the draw. Let's see here. Who won the Nuke course? I hope you're here. I hope you're going to be here to get the course. Okay, so I have the winner. It doesn't say the name of the person, but the winner of the Nuke course is, I'm gonna bodge this num for sure. I hope he's here, or her. I don't know if it's her or not, but the winner is Doznog. Doznog? I think that's how you say it. Doznog. Yeah, Kenzie, I know I should have more monitors, but it's not easy to convince BenQ to give away monitors. I mean, any company, it's expensive to give away stuff, so it's keep in mind that I already did 3 last year. It was already very good. I'm sure we'll do more this year, especially when we do the anniversary of Nuke. But yeah, so I want to know where Doznog is. Where is Doznog? And yeah, congratulations, Doznog. I can see that it's you because I can see it on your email. Congratulations. You've just won the new course. Congratulations. So that's Etienne Dehais. At least that's the email I see here with your name. So you are Doznog. I can see that the email matches. So congratulations, you've just won the new course for free. Just keep in mind that I will contact you by email, and and I'll email you. Don't worry, I'll email you, and I know that it's you because it's the same name. And so congratulations for winning the new course. I'll send you the new course credentials in a couple of days. I will give another one. Since we're here, I'll just do another one since I don't want anyone to be sad that they didn't win. So I'll do a second giveaway. So let's just see. The second winner of the Nuke course is, and this is a bit easier to pronounce. So the second winner that I just rolled the dice there is Nathan Borel. Is Nathan Borel here? So congratulations, Nathan. You just won the new course. So now I have 2 winners. I have Doznog, which is Etienne, and I also have Nathan Borel. Is Nathan Borel here? I hope he is. Is he here? At least I'm not sure if his name is that name in the chat. I hope it is. So it's a bit easier to find. But you've won the new course as well. Don't see your name here. Maybe you are here. So Nathan, are you here? We have a lot of delay on the chat, so it could be that it's gonna take a while. Oh, I see that Alex showed up now. I'm sorry, Alex. We've done the showreel reviews now, but it's not a problem at all. I was worried that it might be something wrong, so you don't have to apologize at all. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. You can come back next time, next month. I do this every month, so I'm very happy to have you next month. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, yeah. So I found Nathan here. So Nathan is here. Yeah, I can see that. That matches your Twitter handle as well, Nathan. So Natework is Nathan Borel. I can see that it matches the information I have in front of me here. So yeah, congratulations. So Nathan, congratulations. You have won the Nuke course. So I have 2 winners today. I have Etienne Doznog, and I have Nathan Work as well. Nathan that won the new course. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much for joining the stream today. Remember, as I said and as I mentioned before, next month we'll have 2 streams. We're going to have a Nuke compositing stream, which is Nuke Workshop with some new footage from Sniper Elite 5, which will be sponsored by Foundry. And then we'll have the showreel review at the end of the month again, like every month we have with BenQ. And again, thank you so much, BenQ, for sponsoring the stream, and thank you so much for supporting my channel so much. Can't thank you all enough for being here. Much obliged. It was amazing to have you here. We had 540 people watching, which was great in total, and it's always lovely to share a few hours with all of you. If you need anything, you know where to find me, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks on the first Foundry Nuke compositing stream, and then of course the showreel reviews. So have a great evening, everyone. I'm gonna just swap my camera. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.